Hello.
Hi.
And welcome to episode 18.
Yeah.
You are clicking on a video that is actually just two people talking to each other about what happened after so many people poofed into non-existence. No, I'm not talking about Infinity War. I'm talking about Greek mythology. What? Anyway, Septimus won, and our heroes remember the deed. They look on and see Septimus fade, Undyne fade, Uldred fade. They see Cog, Og, and their father fade, due to all of their lineages connecting to the Olympians. They see off in the distance that there is a mighty ship going towards Olympia, and as it is cresting over a wave, Olympus itself cracks and falls into the ocean. This session will only consist of the deeds and actions and willingness of Angoromere.
Hello.
How are you feeling?
I feel pretty good. You
Have you
mentioned that there's two people going to be talking this episode, and as of right now, you've done about 80% of the talking, and I'm okay with that.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I was making sure. I was going to say, I'll stop talking, and then if you want to, take charge or something. All right, so, Angoromere, you sent me a message that was kind of laying out what your actions would be in a hypothetical situation where you wouldn't really be able to detail out what you had done.
Yes.
But we're going to be able to dive into those actions, and so you can actually elaborate a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell me whether or not you actually want to dive deep into those actions or you just want to skim over them as time goes on. Because I also understand that this is a very unorthodox situation to have a D&D character, because your whole world has essentially been remapped.
Yeah.
Not literally, but in the sense of the pinnacle of religious height is now gone into the ocean.
Yeah.
And everything that you have considered to be true may not be true, because who knows if your memories are real? Who knows if what you're experiencing right now is fact?
Who knows what the people of what was once considered Olympia, if it's still called that, even worship? Did they worship David Bowie?
This isn't your game. It's
Who
still,
knows?
Who knows? It's still run by me. We'll get to yours soon.
You can have a David Bowie.
I don't know who that
character.
is. I think my god would be like Mark Ruffalo or something.
Yeah?
No. So we're going to proceed. You are currently standing atop the courtyard plateau that is Uldred Island.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you see the shocked faces of villagers, of children, of men and women, all kind of stopping, and the fires go into silence and then slowly dwindle into nothing.
Yeah.
And the island feels cold, and you can hear the ocean waves crashing on the rocks down below. You're not hearing speech, you're not hearing crying, you're just seeing a bunch of people still, as their brains are trying desperately to fill in the gaps of what is now missing. Because nobody really knows what happened. No one knows what was. But they may know pieces, but you're not sure. You see the rest of your party kind of look at each other, look down, look up, just kind of lost. But it is your action right now.
This is the moments after Uldred and Undyne faded.
Yes.
And Septimus faded in the air.
He was the first to fade.
First to fade. Is Olympus still falling? Because it's gigantic.
It has already hit the water.
And it's all been submerged?
Yes. Well, no, that's a good question. So it is currently submerging.
It becomes Atlantis.
But once it actually hits a ground or hits an area that will actually stop,
The seafloor?
the seafloor or whatever slope is down below Olympia, it will slope to a point where there's a jagged upturn pointing kind of diagonally in the direction where Olympus was.
Okay.
So now you know that likely it crushed a good amount of buildings and people in its fall. It wasn't directly over Olympia, it was more so to the side, kind of like northwest, as it were, and Olympia was more so west on the island. So it hit probably the outskirts of that area.
Well, I do know that Hammer, during the whole trying to find Septimus and the Soul Stones heyday there, she went to go save the people in Uldred Island from like the fires and whatnot, and the panic of being attacked. So I want to find her.
Okay.
If that's possible.
You can definitely try.
If I remember what direction she went.
Yes. She went down the slopes, actually back towards the piers that you first arrived on this island sessions and sessions ago. You can easily find her. Do you turn to say anything to your party before you depart from their presence?
I inform them that I'm going to go find Hammer.
Okay.
And this is after we done everything for the previous session. Like the previous session, we all had our moments of like stunned silence and like shaking our heads, holding Undyne, stuff like that. So I feel like saying anything extra is kind of, I don't know, erroneous.
Okay. So you let them know where you're going, and then you proceed down the stone steps. You pass by dozens of people who are just in stasis on the steps, kind of looking around, trying to figure out which way is up. And you're able to find her pretty easily because she's in the thick of several people, and you're assuming that she was there guiding them onward, away from a building that was previously in flames. And she's easily detectable because of her long, thick red hair.
Does she look like she's in a stasis-y
Yes.
kind of... Oh, Jesus. All right. I'm going to play my part of the informant. And I'm going to approach kindly, because she may not even remember me. And I'm going to say, "Excuse me, Hammer?"
She will look over at you very distractedly and needing to focus on you for about 3 seconds before she actually acknowledges that her name has been said.
Yeah.
And it's you. And she'll focus on you, but won't say anything. But can I give you an expression of yes?
This may sound like a weird question, but I have to know. Do you remember what just happened? In the past 5 minutes.
She will look around at everyone around her.
Do you know how you got here and why you're here?
She'll look out at the ocean and say, "I must have sailed here. I came here by choice."
It was definitely by choice, but you did not sail here. We were in the labyrinth. Do you remember being in the labyrinth?
I remember a maze.
Do you remember walking just underneath a giant stone bust to get here?
No. I remember a door.
Describe the door.
It was a opening like a vague diamond in shape. Blue. And when we stepped through, we were here. It must have been deeply magical, because I remember being told by Daedalus. He said that in order to return. In order to get here, we would have to go through that door. But I don't remember why I was told to come here at all.
When she explained the blue diamond door and everything.
That's all accurate, by the way.
That's all accurate?
Without the bust part.
Got it. So she just didn't remember the bust. And I forgot what the door looked like.
Angoromere will remember it, you just forgot.
Yeah. Jeff forgot. Because I was focused on the boobies. What blue door? It was boobies. Right.
Leave a like if you like boobies.
Hey, support my channel. Or die.
Bye-bye.
Okay, and then, so she described everything in the labyrinth and the end of the labyrinth very accurately. Do you remember seeing a very, well put together yet lightly clothed, beautiful dark elf with a phoenix?
I think you're trying to describe Daedalus. He's not a dark elf, but he has a phoenix. Last I saw him,
Definitely,
it was beautiful.
Definitely not Daedalus. Does the name Septimus ring a bell? Just before we went through that blue diamond door, we had a very, very long, heated discussion with a man by the name of Septimus.
I don't remember this. However, forgive me, but it seems like you may be confused because Septimus is an old word that means of the seven, and it's an old word used in reference of book literature. So I'm not sure if you're confusing. I don't know, but if you're, I'm sorry. Have we met before?
Dear God. Okay. Gods.
You say, dear God. She's like, who?
First off, we've met. And I am so sorry if you don't remember. Because it's very likely that your memories have been altered by the person that I was just describing by the name of Septimus. It is also my belief that Septimus no longer exists. Now, hear me out. Septimus, meaning of the seven, would make sense because the Septimus character I'm talking about, he is or was a prince. So it would kind of match his royalty to have such a, I don't know how to describe it, not pompous name, I guess, would be the best way to describe it. Regal sounding name, like Septimus. She just looked at me like I'm freaking insane.
She can see the conviction and calmness and determination in your face and how you're describing this. And so she believes, especially considering that she's having a hard time remembering how she got here and why she was here, and even what this place is for. She is believing that there is something going on with memory, and therefore she believes that you knew her. Also, you speak very easily with her, and so she believes that there is some sort of familiarity that she's willing to accept. Maybe that's right. However, this person sounds like a fairy tale because there's no known prince, there's no known jarl, there's no family name of a Septimus anywhere. And the idea of a single person being able to eliminate memory sounds beyond the realm of magic. And a quick thought would give you the idea that without gods, magic would be top order now as far as power source. It would be the will of people, engineering, and magic. And so the idea of somebody having the ability to wipe their existence from people's minds is just so baffling. Not possible.
Yeah. I'm going to say, are you really close with a person by the name of Undyne?
I'm sorry, Undying?
Undyne. Kind of like the word undying, but without the G at the end. Undyne.
No.
Never heard of Undyne?
I mean, again, I don't mean to be rude. It sounds like you're almost mispronouncing a word, but that doesn't sound familiar to me.
Trust me, I called her by the word that you're thinking of for the longest time, but that wasn't actually her name.
But. So there's a girl named Undyne.
Yeah,
okay.
Undyne.
And
okay, so I was expecting that to happen because she literally faded from existence in my own arms not but a few moments ago, along with the Septimus character I was talking about. Does the name Uldred ring a bell to you?
No.
The same thing happened to Uldred. He faded from existence.
I think...
Have you heard of the Enclave?
Other than the word of just meaning some sort of homestead, no.
There's a group called the Enclave, and I believe that they're probably no longer in existence since Uldred was the head of it.
So, I'm hearing a lot of things that were but no longer are.
I'm gonna drop a fact about her life on her.
Okay.
From all the times that we were close.
Okay.
Just and I can't use Apollo at all because Apollo doesn't exist. Mm-hmm. Assuming. But why not? I was gonna say, for your whole life, you've been a sister and follower of Apollo.
I'm a sister? Like...
As in a not literal family lineage sister, but a sister as in a female devout person following a god by the name of Apollo.
What is a god?
Super. That answers a lot of my questions. Okie dokie. Give me about 5 seconds. And I'm going to turn around and I'm going to...
We're going to reintroduce each other.
I'm going to scream as loudly as I can. I'm going to turn back around, look at her dead in the face, and extend a hand and say, "My name is Angoromere. It is a pleasure to re-meet you. Everything that I've been describing, I can attest all the way to my grave and for eternity that what I've been telling you is the truth. I have no reason to lie to you. We've become good friends. We've been adventuring for several weeks. You don't remember any of the pertinent information of our quest because all of it had to do with the gods that no longer exist because Septimus wiped them out along with himself."
She will take your hand because she is mannerful. She's mannery.
Very mannery.
And she'll say, "Angoromere, my name is Hannah." And...
I should have dropped that on her. Damn.
And I don't remember how, or rather, I don't remember why I'm here. However, I believe that you believe this, but I seem to be missing, as you said, pertinent information. I am sorry if I'm little help to you right now, but I'm a little bit stir crazy. I'm not even sure if I've stayed stagnant in this place for... I don't know what this feeling is that I'm having, but I'm really very much wanting to go to a place that I know for sure is true. And that would be my home, where my parents are. So I am sorry for the amount of distress that you're in, but I don't think that I'm of any help to you in my current state. If what you're saying is true and that truly happened, I am sorry.
I would say before we part ways, I absolutely relate to the feeling of wanting to go home to your parents because I'm planning on going there myself very soon. You're here because you followed me and a group of my friends just up the hill to try and get to this place, which was the headquarters, for lack of a better term, of the Enclave, to try and prevent Septimus from getting something very valuable, which were, at the time, soul stones, which don't exist anymore. I wish I had a way of proving it.
One does. The Anicia got the blue one back.
I can show you that. I could show you one of the soul stones. However, if you would be so kind as to join me and meet up with the party that you've been following, and I would like to point something out to you.
Okay.
That giant mountain still sinking?
So I imagine you'll go back up to the courtyard.
Yeah.
And you'll try to show her, and she'll see Olympus kind of like sinking, and she's like, "Wow. What happened there?"
So that is Elise
The world is Elysium.
may not be. What is the name of the land that we're on right now? Is it Elysium?
Elysium, yeah.
Excellent. That mountain is the tallest mountain in all of Elysium, and it's no longer the tallest mountain because it is now currently sinking. And it's still in the process of sinking because of how gargantuan it was. When Septimus faded, that mountain was torn down. So that can tell you how recently all of this happened. So, and why I'm putting so much information into your head right now.
So you're actually doing a great job pointing out a good paradox, because Septimus cannot erase the memory that the mountain existed, because the mountain pre-existed before the gods. So good job, seriously, because her seeing that, she will see it and go like, oh, that's so sad, what happened? And then you'll remind her that was the tallest mountain in Olympus, or in Olympia, and she will remember, that's right, it was. But then it's like her brain's telling her not to remember it. And yet she's convinced it was there before. There was something there. And so it's like her brain is actually resisting the wall that's been put over it. Or maybe not a wall so much, but her brain's resisting, trying to find an answer that it can't seem to push past. And as you watch her, it's going to sound very tropey, but she'll actually start to bleed out her left nostril. And she'll dab at it a little bit. She's like, damn it. I really need to lay down. I don't know what happened. I know I'm not any help right now, and I truly am sorry, but...
Do not apologize. These memories were literally ripped from you unwillingly.
I believe that something is amiss. I believe that you, at the very least, are familiar with me. And I wish I could say the same. But...
I've seen you in combat. You're very powerful.
Oh, combat. You know, I actually always really liked the idea of... When I was a little girl, I actually there was this one fighter in the arena who used this two-handed gigantic maul that had been fashioned like a hammer, and she loved it. And she always used to swing it around in this rotating circular tornado move. So funny, because she would always win until obviously she didn't. But
I screamed again.
She's telling you this nostalgic story that you just turn around. Bah! I'm so sorry. Go on. And she's like, dear person, can't say dear God anymore. Dear horse.
Well, person is okay. Remember how I called you Hammer?
Vaguely. I thought you just mispronounced my name. It's okay. I'm really not offended. I'm not that emotionally attached to my name. Hannah's a very plain name.
I know. You've told me that before. And you took the name Hammer because of your fighting style. That
really?
memory that you just told me describes you as a fighter, and I imagine that you don't recall being a great warrior at all.
Honey, I wash pots for my family's pottery. I'm not. Shit. She'll look down at her arms and go wow.
Oh, I'm buff.
I'm ripped. No, but she'll actually be a little. She won't be that animated about it, but she'll look down and go me and my wimpy. What?
I would like.
And she'll rub it herself admiringly. She's like, wow. That's an instant like a Spider-Man Tobey Maguire kind of moment of just waking up in your buff.
I'm going to call Dionysia over.
So you'll look over at your party, and I will say for the trueness of their stories, they will not be there.
That's fair. I was hoping that Dionysia could put an image in her mind or something. That's unfortunate.
You said you're heading home.
Yes.
Where is home?
Does a place named Albion exist?
Oh, like Centaur homeland. Yeah, northeast?
Northwest.
Northwest. Sorry, I did mean that. Yeah. Yes, northwest. And she'll say that. Yeah.
It exists.
Yeah. That's where your race like first emerged out of like whatever.
I've heard the stories.
Really met. Okay.
Gesture to all of you.
I am the product of horsecock. Yes, I understand that.
Hannah.
Actually, stick with hammer. I kind of like that.
I do too. Thank you. I need a moment.
Yeah, me too. Is there a bedroom anywhere around here that I could like lay down?
I would like to continue talking to you after we both take a much deserved rest.
This place is expensive looking. Have you seen this place?
It's gorgeous.
Who owns this place?
Someone who doesn't exist anymore, unfortunately.
Okay. It's going to take some getting used to. Because I never really talked to anybody who's like told me that like what's true isn't really true.
Yeah.
So, okay. Go on.
I need a moment to rest, and I know you need a moment to rest. And I hope that by me telling you all these things, I don't want you to interpret it as everything you know is a lie. Because the power that Septimus wielded was above godly. Like...
There's that word again.
Yeah, sorry. Unbelievably powerful.
Okay.
Magic.
Okay.
Very unbelievably powerful in a magical sense.
Okay.
And what he did with the Soul Stones literally reshaped all of Elysium. So...
It's like a really bad spell.
A very bad spell. And what I'm saying probably isn't true anymore. And this just happened a few moments ago. So I'm going to need some time to get used to the new land, as well as I want you to rest because I'm afraid that I put too many things in your head.
I don't think there was enough things in there to begin with. So, do you go find somewhere to rest then?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
So, where do you just pick a random building? Do you go to where you're used to? Do you go back into the labyrinth? Where do you go?
I mean, going back into the labyrinth would be interesting. I'm going to see if that still exists and rest with Daedalus if it's possible.
So, since you were in such a rush to get here out of the labyrinth back less than 30 minutes ago.
Yeah.
You kind of have to reacquaint yourself, like, directionally. Like, okay, so, like, the workshop is through there. We ran there. So, like, okay, so, but, like, I don't see a path. Oh, okay, there is kind of a rough path. Okay, now I see how Daedalus was able to hide this. Okay, that makes sense. And, like, you go down the steps, you go into the building, you see the little tiny delta symbol, which is not godly because that's a language. And so you see the delta and you're like, he said to follow the deltas to re-enter the labyrinth. But I don't see a door. And the delta is like etched tiny into one of the bricks.
I do seem to remember that. I don't remember if there was an activate for that, or being told if there was. Ooh. Just because I'm running out of ideas, I'm just gonna take my gold phoenix feather and just brush the delta symbol with it and see if that sparks anything.
It will animate the delta, make it glow blue, because you will have touched something of importance in some way to the delta symbol, and it will go like, and it will reactivate, and the vagina-shaped portal will reopen, glowing blue, and you're like, well, I did it. All right.
Oh, cool.
So basically, you lucked out and just made a guess. You're just like, yay.
I want to show Hannah this, but yeah. She remembers the labyrinth.
She does.
Yeah, so I'm going to go in and I'm going to go back to Daedalus's lab and see if he's there. And see how the whole snap affected him.
You re-enter the labyrinth, and on either side of you are giant mounds of rubble.
Rubble totally blocking the way.
No. On either side of you, which would have been a giant rack, is now rubble. Does that make sense?
So as
I'm Septimus again. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
no, I mean, the boobs that were there are now disintegrated into rock rubble.
Yes.
However, you're not blocked, because straight forward is the staircase leading down.
Okay, I kept thinking that the rubble was blocking the path.
No.
It's
just now on either side
I got
of you.
the titty reference.
Yeah.
But I was like, can I not go anymore?
No, you totally can. I'm letting you know now, though.
The breasts are gone.
The symbol is now gone.
Got it. Yeah, because it was a god. It was what, Aphrodite.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Aphrodite's blessing.
You know, and she doesn't exist anymore, so it's just rock. Okay, I'm okay with that. Kind of miss the rock though.
Of course, absolutely. Yeah.
Kind
of miss Undyne too.
Yeah. I miss Undyne a lot.
Yeah.
The only person who respected my butt.
Yeah, and she was gonna totally jump your bones.
Yeah, she was. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna keep going straight and until I see Daedalus.
You see him near the middle of his chambers with a phoenix, kind of urgently grabbing at hair follicles and trying to yank, trying to wake him up. It seems like because the phoenix seems fine, but he's trying to alert Daedalus. Are you there? Are you okay? Are you alive? And Daedalus is sitting there with a ladle, just suspended over the cauldron that you saw an hour ago or so.
His meal. He was about to have his meal, and then he got his memory wiped. That's so sad.
And so he's just standing there, kind of wavering in place. And he's standing like he hadn't collapsed. There's no blood. There's nothing. He's just still in shock.
I'm gonna call for him and say, Daedalus, that's your name, yes?
He will drop the ladle and turn back and say, "Oh, you came back.
Did you remember me?
Did you forget something?"
Oh. That question means a lot more these days than it did in the past.
What?
A lot of people are tending to forget things. Do you remember Septimus at all?
Of the 7.
I flip over the nearest table.
You do so, which conveniently is the table that the bomb was actually sitting atop, and you will see him go, "Whoa, hey, why? What's?" There was nothing important on there. That's just more of the principle. Why did you do that? Why does my voice feel rough? You're seeing now just how much things are affected because so much of it was wrapped around one finger. One middle finger.
Can I go through the motion of everything that I went over with Hammer?
Oh, you want to ultimately have the same conversation? Absolutely.
With Daedalus and just say that it happened? And then I just need to judge his reaction to all the information I just threw at him, basically.
As you share the information, I'll give you the benefit of saying Angoromere himself elaborates maybe even more, because at this point he's exasperated, he's upset, he's ranting, so he'll kind of pull a Sokka and like overspeak on some points. And so while listening to you, it seems that listening to you will actually kind of wake up his muscles, and he'll finally realize, I'm really hungry. Is there? Oh, there is food. Cool.
Yeah, you were making food right before we left.
And so he'll like scrape out, like he'll skim the top and go like, there's a lot of fat in here, and then he'll skip underneath and get a bowl, and he will offer you some while you're talking.
How long has it been?
You said we're seeing it cook like an hour ago.
Oh, okay, cool. I will totally take some.
Okay. He offers you a very large bowl because you look dead on your feet, and he'll offer you a bowl, and he'll sit down comfortably and listen to you talk. And the Phoenix all the while like eyeing the porridge like, can I fucking have some? But anyway, he'll listen, and even like start taking like little notes to make sure he has everything. And then he'll actually pose some questions sometimes like, I'm sorry, Undyne?
I love Daedalus, by the way.
He's a scholar.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if I ever told you that in a previous session, but just
No,
like Daedalus in general, I love that character.
Do you know the
Cool
mythos of Daedalus? No?
The most basic,
Okay.
elementary level of knowledge about him. That's it.
Okay. So yeah, Daedalus will take down notes and try to understand what you're saying. And then as you're approaching the end of your statement, he'll stand up after finishing his food. He'll stand up and go over to a desk and have his back to you and start shuffling through. And he's like, who wrote these in codes? What the hell?
You wrote them. It was a language that you made yourself.
Why?
Because I'd flip over another table.
After he's reset up the table that you knocked over,
Yeah.
you knocked it over again. He's like, you're picking it up this time.
Okay, as I pick it up, I slam the stupid bomb shield thing on the table, and I very calmly now, after I slammed it on the table, say, thank you so much for the food, by the way. You made a language because you were cursed to not speak. You can only reply yes or no. That's all you were allowed to say.
That must have been incredibly aggravating for anyone speaking to me.
Oh, it was.
So he'll actually like see proof of what you're saying, because he'll like flay out like you know how card dealers like splay out cards. Yeah. He'll do that on different papers in front of him on the desk, and he'll see pages and pages of these glyphs.
Yes.
And he'll go like, I'm sure that I can decipher my own code, but I'm gonna save myself some time. There was something I was looking for.
Ultimately, your curse was lifted because your...
Clearly.
Yeah, because your Phoenix cried on you. I believe that's...
Phoenix do have healing properties.
Yeah, I believe that's what happened. I'm almost certain that's what happened. And also, it was like super duper mega lifted when all the gods just vanished out of existence. And also, for the record, I just want to spit this out. These are all memories in my head and my friends' heads. Everyone outside of my immediate questing party had the same reaction, like, doesn't remember Septimus, doesn't remember the gods. So, the world as you know it is actually probably the world as you know it. We're the odd ones out, just suffering with these memories of a world that once was.
It's fascinating.
But at the same time, I feel obligated to let you know what once was, because I saw on the surface like Mount Olympus falling and stuff like that was just proof of this insane power that was just completely stripping everyone's memories away from them. Changing the whole world, essentially.
let us assume that you're telling the truth. Let's assume that everything that you have said is fact, and that I do not recall these gods, as you say. Let me equate them to mortals that have like living magic within them that are able to destroy and create materials of our world upon their bidding. Is that about right? Anyway,
Yeah.
I will say that if this is accurate, I'm not sure I disagree with the end goal of trying to eradicate that idea of there being like a council that oversaw free will. However, I think the problem that I'm seeing here is that the four of you are now alone in a world that doesn't remember the past. So there's two possibilities here. Is that one, what you're saying is completely true, and everything that you say happened truly happened, and the goal you had to stop it failed.
Yeah.
The second option is that your memories have been affected to make you believe everything that you're telling me happened when in reality it did not.
I'm really struggling to...
But let's stay with the idea that what you are saying, what you believe is fact. Okay? If that is so, why would this 7 person leave you with the memory?
To make us suffer.
But as you described him, he didn't wish you ill will. He protected you from ill will.
That's true.
He wished ill will upon these gods, and he succeeded. And even though he succeeded, he kept your memories intact so that you would remember the past. I don't see a point in that.
By the way, for the record, the world as it is right now, as you know it, I agree with, is actually fantastic. A world that's not being governed by these godly creatures having free will for everyone. That's wonderful. I was never really against that. I was only against it because those gods already existed, and the means to go about erasing those gods and the way that Septimus went about it is how I disagreed with it. It was inhumane. But now that the deed is already done, we can enjoy life without the gods, essentially, which is fine. It's just a terrible memory and scar to hold on to. Because I know something horrible and just a travesty happened, really.
Arguably.
Yeah. I really want to sleep.
Oh, yeah. Well, the bed over there is mine, so not for you.
That's
But you also have a warm fire and more food if you want, and you are free to stay here as long as you really want. I'm more of a loner, so I hope you don't live here. But
I'm not going to.
Okay. So, but yes, please feel free to rest, and maybe in the morning your mind will be clearer. Maybe mine will be.
Hopefully.
I don't know. So, I'll see you in the morning, big guy.
Wow, time travel?
Yeah.
Cool. Morning time. Morning time. I get up. I'm like, goddamn, it was a good rest. Awesome.
So what do you want to do now?
I want to question the Phoenix. Hello, Phoenix. Do you have a name? Do you remember Septimus? If I say the word Septimus, do you understand? I describe Septimus. You have memory of Septimus.
For the listeners, he is nodding twice per answer.
What do you think of this Daedalus? Assuming he's awake.
He'll look down at his sleeping father and go,
Oh yeah, it's Icarus.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
I actually forgot your name was Icarus. I'm so sorry. Icarus. Hi. I know that you spent a lot of time with Septimus. Yeah. Yeah, this is going to be weird. Oh, man. What do I do?
Not talk to a bird? You don't have mental prowess? You haven't spent time in a forest in so long. You're probably not in tune with, like, naturistic language at all. Also, he was human first, bird second.
Whatever.
You don't even know how Septimus turned him into a phoenix.
Cool.
Okay. You were also this close to killing the phoenix because you thought he was a spy.
I did. Yeah, well, we're going to keep that in the past. I'm not going to bring that up.
The phoenix the whole time just eyeing your hands, like making sure you don't summon a sword.
Yeah.
I know about you.
I wait for Daedalus to wake up.
When Daedalus wakes up, what do you do?
I let him know that Icarus seems to have memory of Septimus.
His eyes go wide and say, "That's not my phoenix's name."
God. Shut up. You're enjoying this way too much. I hate you.
I've thought about this.
This is great in a really frustrating way. So I was calling...
This is real.
I was calling Icarus, and his name isn't Icarus. Pull yourself together, Angoromere. What are you doing?
Well,
okay.
Centaur, really.
Okay. What's your phoenix's name?
Oh, I don't have a name for him. He's my friend. He's really the only family that I have down here.
You know, I really, really respect your opinion to not name the phoenix because you recognize that he is like his own creature.
Oh, yes. I mean, I am not long for this world, truly.
From like a centaur point of view, I actually like super respect him for not naming him.
Right. Because he understands
immediately.
This version of Daedalus will see the phoenix as immortal. Therefore, when he dies, he's just a flame in the phoenix's life. And so he understands he does not own the phoenix. If anything, the phoenix owns him.
If anything, the phoenix should name Daedalus.
Right. So he does not have the gall to say, like, your name is Fox. I'm Dumbledore. Yeah. So, yeah, he just is like, no, this is just the phoenix that chose to stay with me for now.
God, I fucking like Daedalus so goddamn much. Why does he not remember shit?
He remembers you.
Oh, that's great.
I'm sorry, does that displease you?
He remembers a centaur who he thinks is crazy.
What are you doing?
I'm messing with the camera.
Okay.
Because.
I feel like there's something that I am missing that I can do that would help jar people's memories. But at the same time, I'm going to start questioning myself. Why would I even go through so much trouble of jarring people's memories?
That is a very good question to be posing to your character right now. Would Angoromere really be trying to resist this cause?
Two very, very close people to me had no idea of Septimus or the gods and are enjoying a very lovely life of free will, free of the gods. That's great. I don't want to interfere in that at all. Why would I want to interfere in that? Because my character has a fucking ego. Ooh.
I want you to give me a memory check. This will be a D20 check plus any good points you have.
I have 2 good points. Suck it, Tommy. 18 plus
20.
2.
You will remember and actually like leap with this lovely memory. Daenerys Targaryen did not believe in the Olympians. When you went to the Temple of the 12 in Redstone, she sat outside and said, I don't believe the gods of this world. I have some back home.
Yeah, she had her own gods.
Yes.
Do I recall any gods that she may have named?
She did not.
Daedalus, do you know of a world called Essos?
Mm-hmm. Straight south. I tried to venture there once. I turned back. It's not worth it.
Not worth it. How?
It's mostly desert. You'll hear that and go, "Oh fuck yeah, no."
The hottest place in the world just happens to have the hottest person in the world. Let me tell you.
Oh my god.
Which I know is going to spark his interest.
He'll be like, "Really?"
Yeah, it might be worth the adventure. I tell you what, Daedalus.
Mm-hmm.
How would you feel going on an adventure?
That depends on the adventure. I'm not as young as I once was. I do have a king to report to. I can't just uplift my entire life for you, friend. It's just not the way the world works. You understand?
Yeah, well, it's the way it did work.
People have jobs, Angoromere.
Oh, I'm sure they do. What's the king's name? Something totally different now?
King Minos.
Oh, okay, cool. At least he has the same name. Well, I tell you what, King Minos hates centaurs. At least that's what I recall.
I am aware. So I would definitely urge you to not go there.
Not planning on it.
Okay, so, but if I go on a escapade with you, for example, he will come looking for me. So what is it that you were...
Yeah, I don't want... the only reason why I ask is because it would be really nice to have someone so respectful and knowledgeable of the current world with me on an adventure in case I needed...
Perhaps I can help you on your way. What are you looking for? What are you trying to do?
Well, eventually I'm going to venture into Essos and find Daenerys.
Oh, Daenerys Targaryen.
My head blows up. Like...
The House Targaryen from Westeros. Daenerys is in exile because the Targaryens were thrown out of Westeros because they once held the throne. You don't know any of this, by the way.
Yeah, but I'm still like, you have so much information that I do not know of regarding...
You quickly are basically filled in on a very abbreviated, spark notey version of the Targaryens' history in Westeros as the royal family who were then overthrown, and she and her brother escaped to Westeros, and then you met them in Redstone, and you saw Viserys get killed by the Redstone King. And then it occurs to you,
awesome.
Is that king even the king anymore?
Who cares?
Alright, so...
Well, I mean, he got his power from a godly source, so probably not. At least he's not narcissistic anymore. He could be the coolest king in the world. Who knows?
Correction, he got his source from the stars. It is different. It is different.
Yeah, it is. I know.
Okay, so...
Sorry, I'm being a punk. I'm being such a
okay.
right now.
So he will say...
There's like a million things racing through my head.
What is your need of Daenerys Targaryen?
Do you know anything about the gods?
Again, I don't know what you mean. I'm not part of...
Her gods.
Oh,
the gods of Westeros and Essos.
Okay, now I'm understanding you. You're talking about the same kind of religious insanity that other world... Okay, alright.
Now we're getting somewhere.
Okay,
here we go.
So you were saying last night that we, in Elysium, followed
a bunch of
farces of beings like that as if they oversaw us?
Yes.
And we, in theory, allowed it?
Well, we were subjugated to it.
Oh, wow.
So those gods...
okay. But
in Westeros, do you know that if they exist, or you said religion, so that's a word that exists in this world, which...
It's a theory. Like, it's not a practice in Elysium. It's just... another viewpoint of how to live your life in other parts of this world.
Cool. That was a lot of really useful information.
You hit another paradox, by the way. Septimus could not wipe out religion. He could only wipe out Elysium's religion.
Great.
Yes. It was great.
Great. Okay. You see, this is why I want you to come with me. You're full of so much useful information about the current state of the world as you, and assuming the majority of the world, remembers it. But this is an understatement, I really respect you and what you've done and the work that you do. So I don't want to interrupt that at all.
Well, thank you. I do have a lot of projects going on, though some of them seem to have just vanished.
Yes.
But, go on.
I do want to show you a curiosity, which isn't up at Aldridge Island anymore because there's no other players here right now.
What do you need? Let's try to work around
The Soul Stone. I just want to show him the Soul Stone. It'd be
yeah.
Oh, by the way, like what I was saying, like is true.
If you try to
this
find...
looks like a glowy ball to you, but there's a lot of power in here.
So, yeah, if you try to find them right now, considering the situation, that you cannot find them. Yeah, so, you cannot find them. However, you can describe the Soul Stone to him.
Cool. So if you ever come across a Soul Stone, a deep, like opaque rock emanating a mysterious glow, and it feels like it has a lot of magical energy in it. That's the soul of one of the gods that once was.
Okay.
And it's extremely powerful. In fact, we even used a whole bunch of them in that shield on that table that I hate to blow up a door, allowing Septimus to come through, which I already described to you last night, but the Soul Stones was the ammunition, if you will. Is that a word?
Yes, but that's a sundial you just pointed at that I made years ago.
Is it the same shield thing?
Yeah.
Call it what you want, bud.
Great.
Love it. Yeah, well, it's a sundial shield bomb.
Okay. I'm much more destructive in your time verse.
Yeah, well, there was a lot more going on back then.
Okay, I believe that.
Okay. Stay close or far, awkward goodbye.
How about you follow the deltas? If you ever are in need, you can try to find one, because the labyrinth is ever stretching out underneath Elysium.
That's true. I forgot about that.
It is outside of space and time, essentially underneath everything, touching everything.
You know what's funny? You talk about this place outside of space and time and all that. That sounds like godly stuff.
Oh, it's just magic.
Yeah. So if it helps you at all believe in the gods that once were, just think of them as like magical.
Okay.
Like outside of space and time.
I suppose I can see that.
Yeah.
I just have a hard time understanding the idea of a being with such catastrophic power existing. It's the idea of, say that you have some dormant magical ability, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But if you, okay, case in point, if somehow you one day studied and studied and studied throughout all your life and memorized all the books and all the spells, and you somehow amassed such a great amount of magical capacity that you somehow then declared yourself king of all Elysium, but that then wasn't enough for you. You pushed your magical capability so far that you ascended to a higher plane of magical capability, so much so that your head became that of an egotistical maverick, I suppose, and you declared yourself as higher than any other. That, to me, is what would have had to have happened if gods existed at all. And so...
I believe the gods, the way I remember them, predated humanity. If I'm not mistaken. I wasn't very well versed in the theology. I will admit to that. But I believe that they created humanity.
That sounds like, forgive me, a very good story to have been told to children.
You're hitting a lot of really good philosophical points. Both Tommy and Douglas right now. And I love you. Fucking cauldron.
I'm constantly hungry down here.
Yeah, understandable.
He says, listen, where do you need to go? Because, unfortunately, the labyrinth is only limited to Elysian waters. I cannot get you to Essos from here. I wish I could. I cannot. Do you need to get to Olympia? Do you need to get to Albion? I'm
going to stop right there. I need to get to Albion to see it with my own eyes. Because back in the world that I remember, it was a giant whirlpool, and Albion was completely erased.
Oh, no. No. Absolutely not.
I gotta see the Centaur homeland with my own eyes.
Yes, absolutely you do. Okay, let me show you. And he will actually guide you himself
That's nice of him.
through the tunnels to a particular gateway that will lead to Olympia. I'm going to easily pass through this part because there's no need for puzzles, there's no need for dangers, because all the machinations that would have kept things out,
He's leading me.
he's leading you there. So any traps, he would be all like, step there, touch that switch,
Yeah.
let's go, we'll go left. Like, everything he would be like, the labyrinth is essentially his mind. So anything that he creates, he memorizes and knows it's there. So anyway, he will guide you to a very old oaken door that you will smell it and tears will come to your eyes because the first thought is this deep set knowledge of a home. So he will guide you there, and there's vines actually like flowing down the walls just on either side of it, and he'll point to it and say, and that will lead you directly to the edge, to the beach of Albion, unless somehow it's a whirlpool, but I promise you it's not.
I believe you.
Okay.
Open.
You open, and as soon as you do, a whirlpool. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I died.
I will say that Angoromere at first thinks that he's had it all wrong because the first thing you hear is raging water, and the first smell is sea salt. But
I want a beach.
it's a beach. Hold on. I have ambiance for this. Hold on.
Then after you get the ambiance, would you mind getting another Guinness?
Yeah.
Oh boy, this is gonna be great. This is gonna be a great game.
Did they take down? Oh no. Did they take down the video? God damn it. Oh no.
It's okay. I can create the Albion theme in like 2 seconds. No worries.
Wait.
Which one is it?
No. I was trying to do ambiance beach. Let me just try this. Okay. Let's go with this.
This reminds me of the opening of Final Fantasy VIII.
Oh my gosh.
Crazy. I know.
He will hand you a torch and say, it's dark out there. Because you're far in the north. It's cloudy. It's stormy.
Oh, okay.
So be well. Look for the deltas. And as soon as you go out the other side, know that there will be a door behind you.
Oh, I have a very immediate question I need to ask.
Go for it.
I summon Noah.
You summon Noah.
Awesome. Okay.
That is it. How did you find it? Why wasn't that on my list? What the hell?
Right. Well, just
What the hell?
well, Tommy, while you load that, I just want to tell you, I hand the torch back to him. I say, thank you very much, but I've got my friend Noah, and my sword, and my mage light.
He sees Noah. He's like, oh, little friend. Okay. If you're sure that you are well, then I will leave you here.
I'm confident. Thank you.
Okay. I even have credit. I even have evidence that I clicked it before. What the hell? Angoromere, you step out onto the sand, and it is soaked through with ocean water. It is salty, and you hear seagulls above you. And just outside, just on the outskirts of your ability to see the edge of water on the horizon. Oops, sorry. You will just barely be able to see another landmass that is slightly curved. And knowing the mappery that you know of Elysium, you will know that that is north, high north, Redstone territory.
That makes sense. So I'm on the south end of
You're
Albion.
the south end of your island.
Yeah.
Yes.
Aren't you happy that I'm good with directions?
Yes. So you see all this, and just out of kicks, I'm going to control your character. You look back, and sure enough, there is a boulder that just like slides shut. behind you, and you see a crack just along where the edge would be of a door, and you see a small delta. And you're like, cool.
I'm going to focus real damn hard on that delta and try to memorize my place under the stars so I don't lose this place.
You look up, and there are clouds. You're like, shit. And then you look around, you see several like tree formations, you see several rock formations. You know that you can draw in the sand if you want to, but high tide could wash it away. But you think that if you memorize the position of the mountains over there, you think that you could probably like triangulate.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say you're like 70% confident that you can find this place again.
Yeah. Worst case scenario, I spend a long time looking for it and I'll come across it again, I'm
Yeah.
sure. Okay. Great. I have a moment, and I deeply wonder if my family is on Albion, or if they've always been on Albion, I should say. I don't think him snapping his damn stupid prickish fingers would have actually teleported my family back to Albion. But then again, this whole place did blink back into existence. But then again, I was always told it was a whirlpool. I never saw it with my own eyes. So that raises a lot of questions. I look for life.
You find it very quickly because there is a man with a knife at your back.
Oh.
And you look back, and he is like the epitome of like outlaw scum. Because he has like a leather black eye patch. He has a scalped head. He's wearing dirty black leather clothing. He has scars on his face. And he has this jagged zipper knife like pointed at your back, and he's like, "No, it's not very smart. Of scum like you, far from your tribe, without protection."
How did you get here? Where'd you come from?
I fucking walked, you fucking ninny.
Were you like sneaking around?
Give me the pouch on your belt before we have a problem.
Give me your insecurities of your childhood.
Or we'll help him.
Sorry, that was like a sudden like change.
You see, when I was 5 years old, and he cuts your purse off your belt, catches it, and says, "I killed my first man." And he'll pocket it.
Oh, as a 5-year-old.
And start walking away.
Well, you see, now I have a problem.
I want you to give me a lore check, please.
I have good points.
Lore check, please.
I don't want to waste them. It's a 4.
In your heat of rage suddenly and disbelief and like everything that's gone on in the last 12 hours, you don't really seem to be able to deduce exactly who or why this guy is here, but you know there's a reason.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's all like, I don't even believe that this is like a thing right now. Like, I actually don't believe he exists. It's like one of those kind of things.
How much gold did you just lose?
A lot.
It was very pregnant.
Yeah, I'm not okay with this at all.
Okay.
I believe I'm probably faster than him. I imagine. But I don't want to... It'd be so much easier if pyros. Just be like, set the guy on fire. Like, let's get on with our lives.
But she ain't.
But she ain't. I use charge.
Okay, go ahead.
And Noah and the mage light and the sword were already out. As I'm charging, I use smite. I don't even know if I can still use smite. I use smite as I'm running over there. It's successful.
Yes.
Yay. At least I'm still powerful, and I charge him. I'm at Put this guy down. He killed the guy when he was 5, you know.
That's what he said, yeah.
Yeah, that's awful. Yeah, well, I killed the king before, so. 14 plus 7 is 21.
I will say that you charge, making quite a bit of kerfuffle as you're cutting through the wet sand, charging towards him. So he will turn back towards you and go like, "What?" And you'll cut him like you're your own cavalry. Just cut by him and charge right past. And he'll be cut so badly that he actually falls onto the ground. But you overcharge running past him, so it takes a turn for him to get up, and it also takes kind of a turn for you to maneuver back towards him.
That's fair.
But you deal damage. How much damage?
Well, a lot. Let me tell you. That's
yes.
That's 27 plus 12 is 39 plus 4 is 43 holy damage.
You deal 43 damage to him, and he will barely be able to stand as he holds his shoulder on his body.
That's great.
He will have dropped his weapon, and he'll be looking flabbergasted at you, at this holy sword that you're holding, your body glistening with ocean water, and he'll be like, Who the fuck do you think you are? My name is Angoromere. I come from a faraway land, which is here.
My name is Angoromere. I come from a faraway land, which happens to be here, and also happens to be the first time I've ever came here. Try to put that together. That's what's going through my head right now. So who the fuck do you think you are by stealing over 1,200 of my gold pieces? Put that shit on the beach now, or you will die. I close the gap between us immediately after I say that.
As you get closer,
but not full speed,
and threaten, he tries to backpedal, and then realizing he can't move very well, you notice that he blatantly looks to his left before looking back up at you. And you also notice
to my right.
You notice that his conundrum, just before his last note, his conundrum is that he has put your purse in his left pocket,
right,
and he is using his left hand to hold his right shoulder on his body. In other words, he cannot let go and feasibly throw your money back without basically losing part of his body.
Unfortunately, you're going to have to drop your shoulder and put the coin bag on the beach. This was a choice that you made.
So do you look to the right?
Oh, I do.
Okay. He will...
Right before saying that.
He will so badly not know what to do, and he'll debate on doing so, he'll debate on arguing, he'll debate on running,
you lose your shoulder or you lose your life on 1, 2...
Wait. You will hear shouting of 2 other male voices coming through the trees in the deeper island area. Breaking through, shouting at you, "Back away, horse. Back away, you mule. Get away from him. What the fuck do you think you're doing?"
Okay. First of all, your friend needs help. He attacked me, and I'm much, much stronger than him and the 2 of you combined. Trust me. He has my money in his pocket. Would one of you kindly remove it from his pocket, place it on the beach at my feet now, or else he is going to die along with both of you.
So one of them, I rolled a double 6, so he will actively stop and sheathe his weapon, because he will see blatantly you hold sword,
a glowing
he
weapon
falling apart. So he will see the situation and go, "Holy crap, a centaur with a weapon." And
your
then
friend foolishly attacked me.
The other one is holding a cutlass and isn't dropping it, but basically going "Drop your sword! Drop it!"
You can have 10 of those fucking swords, you idiots. You drop it, or else you will die next.
He lowers it and goes,
"You need to tend to your friend now, before he bleeds out."
"I don't have bandages or stitches."
You have arms and legs. You can carry the motherfucker, can't you? Do it. Or die.
He won't really know what to do, but he'll stumble forward and look back at the other guy that's just sort of "You do it." And he'll step forward and pull the purse off and like hand it to you. And
Oh, we're in arm's reach?
Yeah, like doesn't even consider like dropping it or running. He's just like, here.
I will take it from him, even though he's not following my instruction, and say thank you.
And then he'll like hug the guy, it's like try to keep them together, and he is like, where do we go? Like I don't know if any
I'm
of us
going
know
to
how
be
to
considerably nicer now that I have my money back, and I'm actually going to change the tone of my voice and be like, I'm sorry I had to end this way, but you need help. I've never been here before, but I hope that you know of a healer, and a damned good one, because this shit hurts.
They will like listen for any further instructions or commands or rage or anything from you, and when none comes, he's like,
I'm done. I'm done talking. You're good.
We should go. Like we should try to find like I don't know, but we should try. And like they're slowly meandering further back into the trees in some, to you, seemingly random direction.
Okay.
And the one who I rolled double sixes for will periodically like peer back at you to see if like you're following.
Oh, I'm not helping them or following them.
Take 400 XP.
Yay.
Actually, take 200 more XP because of everything you've been doing with Hammer and Daedalus.
Gladly, thank you. I take a moment to pray to a non-existent god for their well-being.
This is what you hear.
Which means I do nothing, and I stare blankly into the sand. Alright, I go inland away from their camp. Assuming it's a camp.
I will say and spare you time because I'm determined that you will look for quite a while.
Oh, I will.
You will eventually find
Centaurs.
civilization.
Okay.
And since you edged in a different direction away from where they went, you do not find a outlaw camp. You find centaurs.
The guy that attacked me, you said he was human, correct?
Mm-hmm.
That's weird. They must have adventured to Albion. With their accents, they must have been pirates.
Give me that lore check again.
19.
Perfect. So you, without a doubt, go like, oh, you know what?
They were pirates.
Okay, now that makes sense. They were the people, back when this was a whirlpool, or at least when we were told it was a whirlpool, god damn, Albion became the place to put all of the highest criminals. It was the whirlpool where criminals were sent in singleton boats into the mist for them to inevitably sink. And if this place was never a whirlpool to begin with, this was the island where they were dropped.
It's the island of crime. But... So would they have all been lifted up from the bottom of the sea, living? That's so weird. And also, a really stupid idea for the centaurs to still live here.
You also know that your people are fucking stubborn.
Well...
You are half mule.
Wait, what?
Yeah, half horse, half mule.
I almost told that guy to lose his shoulder to give me my money back, so I understand.
Mules can't procreate.
Honey, I'm kidding. I'm making a joke.
I thought that was canon.
That's why Angoromere is
Jinx's
such an
head.
ass. Jinx's head. It's like, that doesn't make any sense.
Hey guys, I'm a rabbit. Alright.
Fun fact.
Did you know?
Mules are infertile.
Those stupid tutorial cuts between loading screens.
Yeah.
Oh man. Did you know? Okay. I am going to show the nearest adult centaur my banner with a wave on it and ask if that looks familiar for a family crest.
You will find a very, very attractive, red-headed bare-chested female centaur.
Too easy.
And she says to you, she will look at the banner and say, we haven't seen that house in a very long time. House Mere?
House Mere.
M-E-R-E.
That makes sense. Yes, of course. House Mere. When you say a very long time, this is my first time here.
Oh, welcome. Wow. Why did you guys leave in the first place?
You know, I don't know.
Well, welcome anyway.
My memory has been wiped.
Oh. That spell?
You could say that.
Yeah. It's actually been kind of happening a lot lately. I think a lot of the older folks are getting Alzheimer's or something like that. That exists, by the way, in Elysium War.
Did anything weird happen? Like, yesterday?
I mean, I suppose, like, I think there was a weird pressurized storm going on overhead because a lot of us started getting, like, headaches. Like, we didn't really, like, want to keep farming or keep working or anything like that, so we kind of, like, called it a day early. But other than that, not really. True check.
A 3.
You have no idea what this could mean.
Yeah. But Jeff can piece it together.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to act on it.
Well, don't act on it, but I'm curious as to what you think.
I think that Albion has always existed. And we were just told that it didn't. Or that since I made my character start playing our campaign, Septimus was already doing the hooble hobbles in my memory and was changing it in such a way that I believed it was a whirlpool. Which is what I was afraid, sort of, would happen. So, oh, no thanks. I'm just going to do beer. If I wasn't driving, though, oh yeah.
I was going to say, well, I'm home, so I'm safe.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. Tom Segura? Yeah, I love it. I tell you what.
Yeah, well, I took Spanish in high school. Yeah, okay. Your Spanish sucks.
That's great. That is so great.
No, I understood that. I took 3 years of Spanish. Huh, yeah, okay. No. I think it demonstrates by doing fluid Spanish, saying words that I've never learned, and I'm like, okay, you win. Fine.
Hold my pocket. Alright. Well, I would like to have a one-night stand with this woman, but not really, because Daenerys.
Well, you would be standing.
I want you to give me a cunning check.
See how big her boobies are? I'm such an ass. 4.
You notice that she's like a B cup. Also, You notice that nothing really that interesting about her from the chest down, which is unfortunate because you could have figured something out. What do you do?
I examine her from chest down.
Seems a little meta, but okay.
I'm kidding. I think you were hinting that maybe she was wearing some type of, like, jewelry or something that meant something for us centaurs in terms of being connected to someone already through legal institutions.
Okay.
Maybe.
But none of that matters.
Oh, man.
Subscribe to TNT!
Yeah, I was like, this is a crossover episode. Alright. Well, I'll tell you what. About how long ago would you say that the Mere house left?
It had to have been at least 30 years ago.
Okay, well, that answers my question. Albion's beautiful.
Thank you. We work a lot.
Is there a...
I was talking, but okay.
I'm sorry, I'm trying my best to remember my train of thought, because I lose my train of thought quickly.
Well, you're like 20, aren't you? So it makes sense.
Well, not only that, but you are
you notice that
very attractive.
You notice that as you're trying to find the right word, I'm not kidding. This is not meant for a joke. This is genuinely true. She starts to actually pee as she's standing there, and it kind of shocks you.
Yeah, they just do whatever, man.
Exactly.
Yeah. They're all free-range chickens,
and
man.
you're just like, holy crap, what?
No, I get it, man. I've been used to,
civilizations being different.
More humanoid-esque societal norms. It only shocks me for a moment. I'm more reasonable than that.
You're like, holy shit, we can do that?
I just pee where the hell I want. It's great.
Lift a leg. Unnecessary. Right.
No. Anyway, I didn't mean any disrespect by interrupting you. I'm just having a really hard time trying to keep my train of thought because my memory, is there a touristy area that I might be able to enjoy the homeland of the centaurs, is what I've been told?
Not really we don't get tourists.
I know. That's a bad word to use. It's just that I feel like a tourist, even though I'm a centaur, because I've never been here before.
Right. So, you could meet our chieftain, who is obviously in charge of Albion, and he would probably have known your parents or grandparents, whoever was here last. You could talk to him, but, I mean, he may be busy,
Right.
Okay. And she points you in the direction of several huts that aren't really, you're imagining hut in your head, whatever typical picture, whatever you're imagining, you are incorrect. Okay. Because I want you to imagine stables, but hospitable, naturalistic looking houses that are the size that are comfortably sized for horses to roam inside of, with a stable built with stable build. Does that make sense at all?
No, that's exactly what I was imagining.
No, it wasn't. So,
how dare you? How dare you claim that what I was thinking was wrong?
Okay.
So, I'm being such a brat. I'm sorry.
So,
such a brat.
You roam further in, and you go into the hut you were pointed towards.
Yes.
Okay. You notice that there is no door. It's mostly just a blanket, a tarp covering. And you're just like, this is so cool. And you open it, and inside you see an older centaur, quite a bit older, talking to a human. Cool. And they're speaking in hushed, agitated tones. And you walk in and you're just like, hello, my name is Angoromere. I'm from a faraway land. And
that sounds like me.
Both people turn towards you and go,
who is this person?
We'll talk later. And the human's like, I'll be back in 20 minutes. How about you make up your mind by then? Or we'll have a problem. And he walks towards you.
Did I just overhear a threat? I'm actually going to point out, was that a threat that I just heard?
He then will look at you as he's walking by, and he's just like, shit face. As he walks his way out of the hut stable castle.
I killed King Minos in an alternate timeline, bro.
Yeah, and I fucked Alana.
Yeah. I got close. I could have had my way with her.
Dude! Oh my god!
I'm just saying, I grabbed her 4 times. She kept running. Anyway. I completely disrespect the human by making jabs like that.
I so forgot how much of a heat Jameson has.
Yeah.
Hooah.
So those Irish laddies and lasses kept warm, I guess. Whatever. Was I given a name for this chieftain?
No.
I bow and I say, my name is Angoromere. I come from a faraway land. This is my first time on Albion, the homeland of the centaurs. And I come in peace. And I'm on a quest for enlightenment.
Greetings.
Thank you. Do you have a name?
Yes.
Great.
What house do you belong to?
House Mir.
Alice? Me?
I was told that they left Albion like 30 some odd years ago.
You did.
I'm not 30 years old, so I don't know why we left, the circumstance.
Your clan left in the face of a proclamation that we would not be expanding our borders, or it's very complicated. However, your family chose
what you just said. Well, this isn't what we're going to talk about. What you just said, actually, like, how much did you think about this? Because that's like a very Angoromere reason to like leave, because he wants to like see the world.
This
and
has
stuff.
been the reason since session 1.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool. All right, cool. Go ahead.
Okay. Your family chose to depart because they no longer agreed with the stance of the chieftain at the time. And so, your family departed amongst 6 or 7 others. It resulted in Albion's weakness. And as Olympia chose to use our island as its garbage bag, that's not the term he uses, but you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
As his waste bin, as it were, we have progressively grown weaker as we are now the minority on this island.
Oh.
Does that adequately answer your condescending question?
I didn't mean to offend. I'm going through a very difficult time right now. My memory has been tampered with. Bad spell. So thank you for the bit of information. I did not mean to interrupt a negotiation with your human friend, for lack of a better term, but honestly, like, who are these guys? Like,
They are
criminals?
They call themselves such an idiotic name. They call themselves the Ragamuffins.
Oh.
And they are the scum that is no longer allowed back in the capital because of various reasons. Murder, rape, treason, arson, vandalism. That's fun. But they are no longer allowed back in due to very heinous crimes like vandalism. And so they are here. And they have collected and gathered their rich, vibrant minds to conquer what they can in their limited space. And that, as a result, has affected us.
Oh, if only there was a god named Poseidon that created a whirlpool to eat them all alive. Damn.
Are you a poet? I don't understand what you're...
I like that, actually. Yes. No, I don't want to lie to you. I'm not a poet. But I like the idea of being a poet. Anyway, these ragamuffins are... Raganuffins. Am I right?
I truly wish that I had your jubilance of life, but I do not. You came to Albion at the wrong time.
Yeah, apparently. One of the ragamuffins assaulted me when I got here on the beach.
And yet you're here.
Well, I mean, I was mugged.
You're no longer allowed on the beaches, so that makes sense as to why they would feel obligated to jump you, as they put it.
Well, they tried to take all my money, and they did, and I didn't want to have to put one down, but I did.
You killed a human.
I got close, real freakishly close.
He got away.
I allowed him to get away as long as I got my money back, because I didn't want my first visit to the Centaur homeland to be stained by killing a human. 2 of his friends came shortly after. I insisted that they gave him help because he really needed it. And after getting my money back, I let them go. Back to...
I do not know whether to commend you for your kind heart or to slap you for your idiocy.
Idiocy?
We have had our weapons taken. We have been attacked and killed, and so much more in the last 2 decades, that to have such an opportunity to strike back, not knowing it, I forgive you for your ignorance. However, I urge you that if you are ever in such a situation again, do what you can to purge them of life, not rescue them of their wrongdoing.
Dear Lord. Dear absence of a Lord.
What?
I'm going to have to get used to that. So, my memory, again, I'm going to say some weird things. You just have to bear with, because the things that I say don't exist anymore, and that sounds super weird, I know. And I just go on like a weird, like, 19-year-old tangent. But anyway, and I come back, and I go, anyway, so...
You are confusing me a great deal, I must admit, because you claim that you nearly killed a human, yet you have no weapon on you.
That is true.
Did you trample him? Did you choke him? Did you...
You see my fairy friend here? His name's Noah.
So the way that I was imagining it is that the sun is now like peeking through the clouds, trying to like there's like I was actually honestly imagining a beam of sunlight going and breaking through this hut's main room.
Yeah.
So like you guys are on either side of this prominent sunbeam.
Okay.
So in other words, like you guys are a world apart, but you're like part of the same world. Yeah.
I like it.
That's right. So that was the thematic scene in my head, and so through that lighting, oh, she emailed me. Cool.
Apollo is dividing us, but not really, because he doesn't exist. Got it.
So that is a good point. That's another paradox, that the sun still exists.
Yeah.
Yeah. The ocean still exists.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Centaur
Centaur still exists.
That's a really good point.
So in the lighting and the hues of what Noah's color is, it was very confusing for him, that he thought maybe you had a torch with you. He wasn't quite sure. But then you like point and he like edges around and he's like, oh.
This is my fairy companion, Noah, and this is my mage light, and this is my mage sword.
You have magic.
Oh, yeah. Would you like some?
You just create magic and you're like, eat it, please.
Eat it. Eat this magical ball.
You like playfully like eat your mage light, then resummon it, eat it.
Oh, yeah. I would absolutely be doing like goofy shit like that in this situation. That's why
Is that getting to you?
What?
This.
Maybe.
Maybe. Enjoy it.
Thank you.
He looks mystified and kind of continues to shake his head, his mane, and he is like, you are in...
Why is magic so weird to you?
It's not weird, as you put it in your crude terms. It is disallowed. We have not practiced magic.
So have you guys forgotten it, or do you choose not to use magic?
It is suppressed.
By what?
Choice. Look. Listen to me.
Okay. I'm listening.
Whatever venue you took to access this island, you must take it back to wherever you came. Because so long as you are here, you are at risk of harming the rest of your kind. They have us outnumbered 3-1.
I'm not afraid. Wait, keep going.
I must make a choice within the next 5-10 minutes about whether or not to allow them to put us under their control, including our ships, so that we may all ride to Redstone, or they will kill us. And your access to weaponry at a whim, your magical energy, is a threat that they will take back that deal if they are aware of your capabilities.
Well, I think they're already aware of my capabilities, seeing as how I almost killed one earlier.
With any luck, that one will bleed out.
Wow. This guy doesn't fuck around.
You can tell above all else that he is scared.
Yeah, I get it, man. So we got like... How many centaurs are there?
There was one foal born 2 nights ago, so that put us up to 47.
Your numbers are so low, you're even counting like newborns. Damn. Okay. Well, how about in 10 minutes, you can tell that human that he can have this island and to go fuck himself. And you can follow me back the way I came, and I will take you to another continent where you can forget about the Raganothans. You can forget about the situation that was just thrown at you and the choices that you all made to suppress your magic and all that, not use weaponry. How do you even hunt? Like,
we don't. We're vegetarian.
Okay, that's cool. But I mean, like, how do you make these like staples without like some kind of like a blade?
It's difficult to describe, but very limited sharp tools and a lot of physical strength.
Well, I think what I'm getting at is life would be a whole hell of a lot easier if you were to say abandon Albion.
There was a time in which we had this island to ourselves, and everything we needed was here. Everything we wanted was here.
Mm-hmm.
And you may have been raised in the civilizations of the South, because you realize that you're like the northernmost point.
Okay.
You may have been raised in the civilizations of the South where all you need is commerce and whatever else, and the fire that is made for you, and buildings that are built by miners, and all these things that are not traditional for us.
Well,
but we are centaurs. We are the natural people that was born from nothing and a miracle of some unknown source. And there was a time where that was enough. But now the choice of one human has ultimately doomed us to a choice where there is no correct answer. Because even if we choose your option, and I don't even know how you got here, but if you even successfully guided us away from our home, which we have known for centuries, we will then go to a land where, we'll be subjugated by more humans, we'll be forced to learn how to relive our lives, we'll be forced to wear clothes.
Oh, yeah, a couple things. I lived a nomadic life with the Mir family. I had a very nomadic upbringing. So that way of life wouldn't be, improbable. It'd be likely even. But I do understand the attachment for knowing this land for centuries. But he did mention something that you all came from an unknown source. Are you able to delve a little bit more into detail about that, by chance?
Legends say that we were born from the heinous act of a human man and a mare. Some say it is from the dirt. Some say it is from a wish of a star. Some say it is just as the world is.
I like that wish of a star bit. How would you feel? Let me rephrase that. First, do you know where your weapons are?
They're with them.
Do you have magic that you choose not to use but can use?
Not in any functional way that you may wish. Nowhere near as easily as what you just demonstrated in front of me in less than 2 moments.
That's unfortunate.
Seconds.
Are there any other centaurs that might be able to assist magically if this were to turn into a war?
I have already made up my mind.
What's your decision?
I am not willing to doom my family to inevitable death if we stand up to them.
So, you are going to, I want to paraphrase, I want to make sure I get this right, get on a ship with them to Redstone, and then what?
I don't know.
They just want you to go to Redstone.
They want a ride back. and this agreement basically caused. You're also aware that this is real time, by the way, and we are either at or coming up to close 20 minutes, just so you're aware.
Well, crap.
And he says there was no clarification as to what was really going to be deemed of us. However, it's assumed that we would be under them. We would be slaves to them.
Why couldn't you just ride your ships back? Like, why not just drop them off?
Because they're ready to put us in chains and bounds.
Why don't they just take the ships and ride back?
Because unfortunately for them, none of them know how to use it.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate. Ignorance. Alright. There's some things that I can do. This is Jeff thinking out loud.
Then I will stop the mental timer.
Thank you. I'm not about to fight 150 Ragamuffins. But I'm tempted to.
Sure.
I understand the whole endangering thing. They become under them. So I think maybe the smartest course of action would be to let this play out, let them become slaves. Because, I mean, wait, they would be forfeiting Albion if they did that. So why wouldn't they just forfeit Albion not under the Ragamuffins? I'm thinking out loud now. So you'd rather abandon Albion, because that's what's going to happen, as slaves to the Ragamuffins, than abandon Albion with me, because I know a secret to get you to a different land where you wouldn't be immediately enslaved, but you would still have to leave Albion, unfortunately. But one day, we can come back. I'm almost certain of that. We could retake your homeland is what I'm getting at.
The problem with your plan is that, one, I do not know of your alternate way, and two, it is going against the deal that he has proposed. Therefore, if they catch even a single one of us before we are able to depart, they will attack and likely win. The curtain will reopen.
Okay.
We're at roughly 20 minutes.
Cool.
And the same guy will come in holding a short sword at his hip, kind of like readily like positioning it to like be freely available, and he's like, sorry to interrupt.
It's okay. I only interrupted you earlier, so it's fine.
Yeah.
I take a glance outside the tent.
You see trees and centaurs kind of milling around awkwardly, looking like at the hut, like wondering what's going on before.
So he is so ostentatious enough as to approach the chieftain alone.
Yes.
I kill him. Outright.
That's okay. I interrupted you earlier.
Yeah.
Requiescat in pace.
I cast Smite. Success.
It casts.
And I kill him. I don't know if it's really a called shot, but I'm just going to run him through from behind. Because I imagine he walked past me. 13 again. Damage. Plus 7, which is fine. So it would be 43 of the holy damage.
So, surprise plus 20% is 4-ish, 4.4 plus 2, that's 9. So 43 plus 9 is 52. You kill him outright.
Great.
So you stab him through the back, and your beautiful smote sword stabs through his sternum, and he's like not able to feel it as he's like just suddenly impaled. He like
I cover his mouth.
He knows something happened, and he looks down at himself, and you close, and he's like.
I jerked the sword up through him.
Yeah, you feel the shuddering breath as suddenly his brain catches up with his body, and suddenly he's like shaking and like trying to get away and trying to like fight nothing as you like lower him to the ground. And as you jutted up, you like promised that he was not going to survive this. And as he stills, you unsummon or just pull out?
I'll just pull out. I mean, I'm going to need my sword, I have a feeling.
the blood, all as it always does with your spirit sword, it just phases off.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't keep the blood on it.
Mm.
And you stand up and look back at your chieftain, and he's like...
I tell the chieftain in a very calming voice, I only did that because he was alone, and that would obviously buy us some more time to make a more rational decision.
He will know that he's not coming back within minutes.
We can use these minutes very, very wisely. I implore you, as chieftain and leader of the Centaur people, all 47 of them, to follow me and to get the hell out of here before you all become slaves.
You've doomed us to action.
Sometimes the best thing to do is to act. Inaction oftentimes leads to much worse things.
Where is your ship?
They'll never suspect it. I don't have a ship. We're going to take what my friend Delis calls the labyrinth. Follow me.
You understand that if this is a farce or a trick or some sort of poetic joke or anything that is incorrect, you will have doomed your race.
This is my Jeff talking about here. I'm really betting on that 70% right now. I'm a betting man, and I'm really insisting that I roll higher than a 3 on a D10. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
He will push past you, and it's very weird being pushed past, because you've been pushed past a lot in your life. By humans, by satyrs, by Undyne, by so many different people just like brushing by you, touching different parts of you, avoiding you, acting like you're not there. It's very odd to you to be pushed past by another centaur body.
I'm so used to it though, man. It's cool.
Okay, and so then he he like stoically walks out and like almost practically rips down the curtain in his aggression, and suddenly rings this heavy bell that's right outside of his hut, stable, castle, house. And suddenly all the centaurs turn, like rehearsed, like this is so rehearsed in practice. Yeah. They're just like, oh, yep, okay, like daily meeting kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they all come cantering up. And suddenly you're like surrounded by people of so many different colors and furs and sizes and ages.
Some D cups?
Multi-genders, D cups, A cups. Double F cups. You're wondering how they canter, actually.
Yeah.
And they're so weighed down. And you are seeing so many people like IU, like, who's that guy? I don't recognize him. Do you know him? I don't know him. That's weird. He should be put to work. What the hell? What's going on? Was that a dead body? Who are you? And then the chieftain says, we ride. We are leaving home now.
Super.
And I am so sorry. We have been forced into action.
Yeah.
And for the good of all of us, perhaps, this is the right thing.
I'm very confident. However,
the only words I want to hear out of your mouth are directions as to how to get away from here safely. Because they could be rounding that ridge any moment looking for their leader.
I want to emphasize on safely. I need someone to hide that body. Your fastest person needs to hide the body. And we need to go this way, south.
Okay. A seemingly random person will go like,
I'm fast.
I'll do it.
Yeah.
And the chieftain's just like, sure, okay, fine. And everything is in such a disarray, I rolled a 1 and a 2. So you're just like, we gotta go that way. People are just sort of like,
what? Which way?
They're disheveled because they're like, are we really following this youngling like down to the southeast? What's going on? What are you talking about?
Oh yeah.
And the chieftain's like, no, really, I'm serious. Follow him. I know he's not familiar, but please just go. He's our only chance now because he's doomed us to this option. And so they're just like, okay. And so basically what I'm saying is that it takes a minute or two before they actually start following you. And you're going through trees, and they're just like, hey, wait up, hold on, hold on, they're coming, hold on.
They're coming?
Everyone is coming. And so you're also noticing they're talking in fully loud voices as they're coming.
Yo, chieftain, who has no name, tell him to shut the fuck up. Sorry. I'm going to use my crude language, as he says.
And and seeing like you shouting back saying shut them up, he's like, oh, and he rings the bell hard twice to basically reorient them to realize our situation.
Yeah.
And
cool.
so I will say a good 80% of them finally realize, okay, yeah, all right, fine, all right.
This chieftain has moments.
Yes. So they're rechecking themselves, making sure they have their friends, their family. They don't even have time to really like grab anything from their private huts. They've just
God, this was a bad idea. I shouldn't have drank.
They've dropped their tools and are just leaving everything.
That's cool.
Suddenly, it's like when Jesus came up to his apostles and said, "Follow me." They're like, "All right." They just suddenly left. You're Jesus in Elysium. Congratulations. I had no idea that Jesus was a horse. He's such a stallion. Anyway, I'm a little drunk too. We are going to...
You know?
How do you know when Tommy's drunk? When he starts saying that Jesus is a horse.
And let me tell you something, guys. I know the place in the labyrinth that has a cauldron that's always full. It's amazing. This dude just constantly stirs.
Wow, James is so hot.
So
Heaty.
much heat.
Wow. All right.
I should probably check my phone.
People are following you, and when you look back, you're frustrated by how long the line is. In other words, it's taking a long time to get everyone out of the village because they're all going practically single file, just because they're like, but what about, but who, but what?
I'm so sorry.
Sorry. We are taking a break, but that's okay because everything is doomed. Switch of music.
Oh. I guess that was the end of that.
Everything okay?
Yeah, Lexi left me a voicemail. It's the only reason why I would ever stop, because a voicemail could be like an emergency.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's why I stopped. Cameron calls me. I'm just like, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap.
Yeah.
Hey, honey, I just wanted you to pick up muffins. What the crap, Cameron?
Muffins? Really? All right.
Well, you're pregnant, so sure.
I should have a t-shirt on. This is ridiculous. Getting all hot.
You can take the sweatshirt off.
Well,
and there's also a window behind you.
I'm topless under the sweatshirt.
You are suddenly on the beach.
Oh, shit.
You know you're in the wrong area.
Sorry,
Because you... No, it's okay.
I don't understand windows and how they work. Oh my god, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Cool.
You are on the beach, on a much rockier part of the beach, and you know you're in the wrong area.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But geographically, you know that you should likely go south. I'm giving you that because the chances of your success are higher than half. Therefore, I will say, you know, reasonably you should go roughly that
I'm
way.
using my triangulation method.
Yes.
Ha! 3.
You're just like, we're going south for a while, folks.
Yep.
And they're like, okay, we're not allowed out here, so you better goddamn hope there's no lookouts.
Where's it coming from?
That's a centaur sound, right? They're like, yeah.
Oh, great.
That they took from us and now use as horns.
Oh, okay. Where are they?
Right behind you. Are you... Because you're like turning around talking,
Yeah.
and they're just like, right there! And you're like, oh! And it's 3 of them. And they're just like, now what might you...
Hold on. So...
be...
There's 3 of them.
Going...
They use the horns.
To.
Wow. Okay. So they're uneducated greatly. So they use the horn. Obviously, they're alerting other humans, which were already probably alerted. There's 3 of them. Weapons?
Yeah.
Great.
There's a bow, there's a sword, and a cleaver.
Oh, man, I'm going for that bow guy. So fast. I'm charging. Like, He's like, oh, so where you go? Whoa, hey.
that is the one that talked, actually, yeah.
Oh,
he's on the
great.
far right.
Great. I use charge. But I do not use smite. I rolled a 10.
That hits.
Cool.
Go ahead.
It's going to be... Oh, it's just a regular hit. I got a roll. Yeah, 5 plus 10 is 15, and 7 is 22, plus 4 is 26.
26. You do 26 damage. And he's just like, oh god! And he drops the horn, but does not drop the bow. And the sword guy is just like, are you shitting me? Like, one's actually attacking? The cleaver guy is like, well, when in Rome.
I tell the rest of them to just, like, trample. Like,
So your minor action is to order
yeah,
trample them.
trample.
Okay.
Like, full on.
This will be the collective mood and receptivity of your kind to you.
Great.
Cunning check first.
Super. I love cunning checks. 5.
They do not move.
Okay.
Because in their mind, it's like, we can like lay it on him as like being responsible, not us.
Right.
So then the sword guy, let's go with bow guy first. Bow guy will able to get up and reform and like try to get one ready to go, but he's not able to shoot you.
Yeah.
Sword guy. Oh god. He does not drop his sword, but he's just like, no! Aim for the tail.
Out of practice, I see.
He was moving. Cleaver guy. What's your defense?
My defense is 12.
He misses you again. Wow, he misses you too.
Great.
Go ahead.
Minor action. Cast smite to get the holy glow going on my sword, which is successful.
Cool.
And I go, seriously, guys? Trample these dudes. And I attack the bow guy. 5 plus 7 is 12.
It will hit, and it will auto-kill.
Yeah, it's gonna totally kill.
As the bow guy is sliced, I will say, down the skull to his heart cavity.
Super.
And then you pull out the sword and turn towards his friend, like doing a cool spinning motion because it's Tommy's game.
Right.
And the bow guy just falls behind you. All of your people go, oh, my hooves.
Oh, my non-existent gods.
Oh, my hooves. And the two humans go, no, no. And they are suddenly realizing they actually have to defend themselves before they stand a chance against you. So, sword. That will miss. That will hit. You are dealt 10 damage by a cleaver.
7, suck it.
Did you have a minor action last turn?
Yeah, I looked at my centaur friends and I was like, seriously, guys, trample.
Okay, that's right. Give me another cunning check. We're retroactively doing this.
Another 5.
They're even more so, like, now afraid of a dead body and you, because now you're just, like, you're killing people,
cool.
so there's like,
Okay.
It is your turn again now.
So here we go. Smite instance. It casts. Run the guy through who hit me. 15 plus 7 is 22. Is that going to be the auto kill status? Super.
Wait. 43?
Yeah.
It is not an auto kill.
Okay.
No. That's for the cleaver or sword? I'm sorry.
The guy who hit me. I believe it was the
that's
cleaver.
That's
Okay. Yeah, I believe the cleaver hit me. Alright. While the sword's in him, basically dead, I look at the sword guy and I go, you used your horn like a damn idiot. Call off your human friends or you will die. Like, you need to leave right now. And call off. 12.
Plus, I will say an easy 5 to 8 for killing. He will unhandle his own horn that's on his belt, like throw it on the ground and then like run, sword still out, like up the ridge and like trying to run into the trees.
Got it.
The centaurs will then scream at you, saying, "But he'll let us. He'll go tell the others."
Cool. Don't worry.
It's all right.
Don't worry. I'm a man of action.
The man with the cleaver looks down at the sword that you have pulled out and goes like, "No more, please, no."
I'll let him bleed out. This way, guys.
So you leave him bleeding into the sand.
Yeah, mercy kill, maybe. It's gonna take a while.
Dang it, I was referencing a way old episode.
Bleeding into the sand.
Yeah.
Yes.
He was dying as he's bleeding into the sand. No, dying into the sand as he was bleeding, or something like that I said. Anyway.
Yeah. I'll mercy kill him. No smite. This way.
D20.
Okay. 5 plus 7 is 12.
Yes. So you mercy kill. Sword guy ran off with no damage, but a lot of fear.
Yeah. Alright. We're getting very, very close to the labyrinth. This way, guys.
You know how a horse looks when it's a little bit skittish? That's how like half your people look behind you.
Cool.
As they like are like hesitating, but then the forward half starts surging forward, like following you, not looking at the bodies below them, and the other half are just sort of like, "Are we really doing that?" Well, there they go. Like, okay.
Yeah.
And so they keep progressing. Give me a D10.
7.
Perfect. You remember where to go.
Hey, that's my gambling spirit there. All right, cool.
Cool. All right.
Even just happened to be 7 for 70%. I like that. That was nice.
I was doing it in reverse though, so 1, 2, and 3 would fail. But yeah.
Right.
You struggle still to find it. So much so that you're just kind of like, you know that it's like,
I'm like,
no,
this
isn't
isn't
right,
right,
this isn't right, this isn't right,
I've got that
right.
feather at the
there's the
ready.
mountains. I can see the like a bump of a mountain. Okay. Which means
I got that feather up.
and people are, you also start to feel like self-conscious because people
pressure.
are staring at you like, I don't see a ship.
Yeah. Oh, it's not a ship.
And so you're like
Tickle,
looking
tickle,
around
tickle.
the rocks and you hear another horn off in the distance.
Oh, okay.
And you're like, damn it. And so then when you start to hear people really distressfully saying to you, "We gotta go," and the chieftain then runs up to you and says, like, where are we going? It is then that you find the rock with the delta.
The labyrinth, right here.
I will say that you dramatically like swipe it with your sword with its magical energy. It will wake up the delta, shine blue, and the rock will conveniently open like a door.
Yeah.
And you're just like,
This way.
there. I'm going silent because there's this collective like hush over your people as they're looking in and they're like, has this really been under our noses? How long has this been here? And they're actually like taking a moment to like,
it transcends space and time. Blah blah blah. It's crazy, magical, awesome. I need all of you guys to get in there first so I can seal the door behind us.
Chieftain like seems to finally like wake up and like remember, and he's just like, get in now, go now, and people are just like, yes sir, yes sir, yes sir, and he starts like almost like slapping people on the rump to get in there, and people are milling in.
Yes. All 47 of them.
And they're actually making good time.
Good.
But so are your enemies. Okay. Good news and bad news.
Okay.
So 1 and a 3 on their approach, which means they're coming pretty damn fast. 6 and 6 though says that your chieftain is standing with you. So as he's bustling people in, he's saying, "I will be the last to go in there with you.
Great.
Let's fend them off.
You're a respectable man.
I'm a horse."
And you're a horse.
You know what I meant.
Of course.
Of course.
And he
He's gonna help fend?
summons no weapon
Of course.
and then lifts his fist.
Hey, you monk?
What?
Okay. Okay.
What now?
So we're gonna help fend out. Okay, so I announced very, very loudly into the crowd of charging ragamuffins that They should actually consider changing their names as to having been bamboozled so easily by one person. You guys should really rename yourselves the Raganothins, because boy, let me tell you, y'all got.
They're not
bamboozled
listening to
too.
a word you're saying as they're fastly approaching us right now. We need to get up onto the ridge and stop them from hurting our people. Cunning check.
Okay.
Cunning check.
4.
He said our people.
Yes. Thank you.
So this is a stratagem question. Do you stay where you are, or do you go up to meet them?
I'm gonna need some logistics. I'm gonna need like how many like humans are running in the front line.
You can't quite tell, but based on the candlelight, the torchlight, you can tell that there's at least 2 torches, and from this vantage point, there's at least 6 on the front line and a few others behind them.
How many like horses are left needing to get in there?
Good 20.
Well, I cast smite. Success.
Your chieftain looks down at your sword enviously, and then looks back up. And he says, "Do we go, or do we stay? I have not been in a battle since I was a boy."
You can stay where you're at. Make sure our people get into the labyrinth, and I will be fighting.
I will be here. I'm gonna imagine that Angoromere will like give that command,
Yeah.
and as the chieftain like struggles to be all like, "I'm not okay with that, but
Yeah.
okay," blah blah blah. You just ride before he can say anything. So you ride up the rough rocks, up onto the platform that is above the line where the ocean is, the beach, and the rock. So you are above all this, trying to stop them from progressing. You notice that these humans seem to be in quite a bit of disrepair. They seem to have heard the horn to call, and they were like in the middle of dinner, or like in the middle of bathing, or in the middle of whatever. They are not fully garbed. They were not on lookout, so therefore they're running towards you like shirtless.
Yeah, I'm announcing very loudly at this point, like stop or die.
D20 strength check.
I'm like, oh, that's a 10 plus 7 is 17.
Woo!
And I'm holding my smitten sword.
You smite your sword, you point it towards the sky, you raise both ripped muscles. You're wearing armor, so you're like even like garbed for battle, and they are not. And you have a glowing orb above you, and you're just shining with impressive light as it's raining on you, so you're glistening like a lusty Argonian maid. And you are commanding them, stop or die. And half of them stop.
Great. I see half of you have a brain.
If you only had a brain.
Thank you.
And then suddenly 3 are on you.
Super. I slice through them like Sir Beric would have if he were younger in Game of Thrones. One of my favorite scenes in that show, when Beric throws down his sword. Ah, what a great scene. I love it.
You are hit for 4 and 9.
1 and 6 for a total of 7.
And the third guy missed you critically. Let me see. He drops his weapon. What a fool. I will say it slicks out of his hand because of the rain.
I don't even acknowledge his presence. And I use my smitten sword on the person who did 9/6 to me. 11 plus 7 is 18 for 43 holy damage.
That definitely hits. 43. Without his armor, he will die.
Great.
So then you strike one down easily in one hit and like continue to go like, what now?
I use my minor action to say, you have a choice right now. Basically.
He will go for your leg to try to impair your movement.
Oh. What a dick.
He won't aim correctly, but he will attack you and cut you like on the chest of your horse half.
Okay.
Okay. 5 damage.
2. I think Relentless would have been really nice for this fight. Alright. So, I don't have Smite anymore.
I'm not done yet. Ooh, 1 crits you. Because 2 more wow, 2 crit you.
Oh, wow.
Alright, so that is 2 11s.
8 and 8 for 16. Dropping me to 35.
It is your turn.
How many horses are left?
How many horses are left? Good question.
Yeah, outside of the labyrinth.
Ooh, they're making good time. Yeah, they are. I will say less than 10 left.
Great.
You will see that there is sort of a bit of a bottleneck happening because they're going in,
Yeah.
but inside they don't know where left to go, and so they're just kind of like now a slow line going in, but there's less than 10 outside.
Yeah. Oh, they didn't realize that they just need to keep going forward.
Imagine if you
Yeah.
walked into a labyrinth not knowing which way to go inside.
I use my minor action of this turn to tell the chieftain, to tell the people inside, like create like a chain, like command, be like keep moving, like front line needs to keep moving forward to allow for room, basically.
D20. Let's do cunning.
19.
Wow. He hears you clearly. He trots forward very quickly and shouts down the hall, "Keep moving! Make room for your brothers and sisters!" Not literally. They're not all... They hear and they're able to keep moving relatively quickly.
Great.
Attack?
There's 2 people that crit me, foolishly. There's 1 person who missed my leg, and then there's another idiot who does not have a weapon currently, correct?
He just picked it up, but yeah, he's able to attack next turn.
Right. The
So
first
effectively
person,
you have 4 people on you right now.
the first person who crit me, I glare, and then attack the person who chose incorrectly.
You're dumb.
Yeah, I don't have smite.
Okay.
I use my mana because I'm a mana heavy character.
Sure.
And I'm up on top of a platform.
Yes. Alright. Not really like a platform, but like it's flat
slight
land of
ridge.
grass.
Got it, okay.
Amidst trees and forests.
Got it. Okay. Well, if you will allow it, I would like to attack the person who made a bad choice and then hop down.
That will be 2 separate rolls, but let's do attack then dex, yes.
Okay. Woo! 10 plus 7.
Definitely hits. And then let's do damage.
Yeah,
and then
damage.
dex.
1, 4, 14, 21 damage.
21 on the mistake.
And then a hop. How far?
Is your hope to get to the sand right now?
Yeah.
It will depend on your dex roll.
I don't have dex.
It will really depend on your roll. It will either be you are able to trot backwards or really leap, or you trip on yourself, depending on what you roll.
I leap. Yeah. 4.
You are able to canter backwards a little bit before your mind just like, but what if you what if you fall down the slope, and so you end up like stepping and then like slowing? You're just like, oh shit.
Yeah. Okay.
Goddamn. Okay.
Give me your worst.
Okay. Let me see. You are dealt 6. Then 6. And then 11.
So 14 total. After all the minuses.
And then and then another 11.
22.
Yeah.
Okay. Good for them.
Give
Look
me
at them dealing damage.
Give me a cunning check, please.
I actually feel kind of happy for them. Oh, you guys doing good. Good job. Good job. You guys are great.
Dionysia, I could use. Aww.
Yeah, you guys are great. You guys will go far in life.
Compared to criminals.
Yeah. As far as criminals can go. What was that D20 check?
Cunning.
Cunning 4.
You do not hear anything.
Of course not.
What do you want to do?
Well, how many horses are left?
You can't tell. You're so distracted by the pain and the people coming down on you.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm going to use this time to leave.
Okay.
I leave the fights, hoping that I'm faster because I'm a centaur. And I'm going to get to the line and basically defend the last few who remain.
Okay. Dex check.
13.
Nice. So you are able to flee, turning your back, trotting forward, pushing yourself off the ledge, landing in the sand roughly, and then you're able to turn your back and they're just like, where are you going? And they're coming at you, seeing the lack of centaurs on the sand. They're just like, fuck! And they come at you and the chieftain and the last 2 that are going into the doorway. Okay, that one definitely made it in. And that one definitely makes it. So as they come down onto the beach, to you, the last 2 and the last 2 end up getting into the labyrinth. The last guy, I will say the guy that conveniently dropped his weapon before, ends up landing on his head, maybe cracking his neck, you're not quite sure. But so basically you have 3 enemies all like next to you that joined you on the sand. Action. This is very much reminding me of the Avatar campaign when you freed a lot of people from prison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What can I say? I'm a hero.
I think Jim helped a lot too. But anyway, go on.
Yeah. So, I am... How many horses are left? You said they
there are
made
zero. There are 0 horses left except for the chieftain.
the chief. Minor action. Chieftain. Hey, get inside, chief.
Cunning.
Yeah. 1.
You will not listen.
Oh, get inside, chief. I use my Belt of the 7 Kings. I destroy it, and I restore 30 MP.
Okay. Woo!
I am now weaker, but I have 30 points of crucial mana. Or 31, rather. I go... Well, I don't say anything because I already talked to the chieftain.
Mm-hmm.
But in my head, boy, am I thinking these guys are fucking stupid. And I really wish that they weren't so fucking stupid. Because stupid people can't be reasoned with. And I wish they were smart so I could reason with these stupid fucking people. Like, boy, there's really no reason why you're going to stand up against a magical fucking centaur who can smite them with a fucking sword that they're not using armor for.
Jeff.
Sorry, I was erasing. Very feverishly erasing my godly weapon that I got from Enclave that I'm super happy that I had to destroy. And I am casting Smite, which works now because I got Channeling Mastery, which negated my spell failure right on my armor because I have a lot of willpower because I built my character correctly. And then I'm stabbing the fuck out of the closest guy. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm really angry.
Go ahead. Yeah.
5 plus 7 is 12.
Hits.
Great. 43 holy damage.
It annihilates the guy you've already hurt.
Great.
destroying him, and you
I was more making a statement.
you blast through the darkness that is through the night and the storm that is around you, and you slice him so fast and cleanly that it's only when he hits the sand that he falls apart. And you raise your spirit sword and ready to defend yourself against the two others.
So hot. So hot right now.
And then your hair is grabbed. And you are pulled and pushed and then slapped through the labyrinth door.
By the chieftain? Oh, what a good guy.
And the chieftain curses at the two remaining guys as he is pushing the rock closed.
Chieftain? Chieftain?
He says, "Look out for them, how I could not."
Chieftain.
And he shuts the boulder on you.
You don't need to do this. You know, I like to say that the chieftain had his moments. You know, he really has his moments. Tommy, he really has his moments.
He really does have his moments, yeah.
I'm not okay with him leaving.
You look
like
back,
that.
and there is a horde of horses, a pack of horses, looking up at you, up these stairs, wondering where to go next. And they are looking at their new leader.
Were they informed that I was going to be their new leader?
They heard.
I make sure that the labyrinth is sealed properly before I turn around. You hear that?
It is, for sure.
I turn around and I tell them that the chieftain's sacrifice was one of the most respectable things that I've ever witnessed in all of Elysium. And that my name is Angoromere. And I come from a faraway land.
Someone wistfully says, "Where is that?"
Follow me. I'll show you. You okay with that?
Dun, 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 dun.
Dude, are we just gonna become like the pack of Drogos and like Essos right now? Like, is that what's gonna happen? Alright. If you are still okay with going.
Yeah.
Because I thought that was gonna be like a session ends here.
No, I'm still good to go.
Alright. I'm gonna say I look forward to knowing each of you all individually, but unfortunately now is not the time, and I take the lead. I position myself in front of the 46 centaurs in the labyrinth, and I follow the path back. The opposite, in like, you know, the opposite, you know how you're following directions, you do, you know, if it's like a left turn, you have to make a right because you're going the other direction, no, like stuff like that. Yeah. So yeah, I just do like the opposite directions as my pal Daedalus.
You will need to give me a willpower check to see if you truly remember the way back.
Yeah, 6 plus 7 is 13.
You remember decently. I'm going to give you 3 death die rolls to see if you truly remember, because this is important.
Okay. That's fair.
Oof. Jeff, I'm going to be honest. I rolled below average on every roll.
Super.
You can turn it around a lot.
Not necessarily. I'm going to say that you believe that you're good. You're starting to doubt that you're good. And now you know that you have lost them. However, there in front of you, you do manage to find a doorway out. But it is not Daedalus's door. It is not Aphrodite's Blessing's door. It is not the wings.
Okay.
It is some other way out that you are not aware of. Therefore, you do not know where it is going.
I'm going to be honest.
This is not what I anticipated, actually, so I don't know.
I'm going to be totally honest. I'm going to turn around and I'm going to say the labyrinth is a strange, mystical place that defies the laws of nature.
We can tell.
Yes, I'm sure you can.
It's like Doctor Strange up in this shit.
Who's that?
Weird reference. All right.
Who's that?
I'm going to be honest. I don't know what's through this door, but I do know it leads out of the labyrinth.
Let's get out.
Thanks, man.
You're actually aiming at, like, the day-old child.
Thanks.
Let's get out.
I didn't realize Centaurs could talk at day one.
Nor
Anyway,
did I.
we're going to come back to this later.
Looking forward to it.
The mom's like, he does this a lot.
Okay, cool. I want to open the door.
I really can't get him to stop talking.
It's true.
I don't shut up.
Okay, so I'm going to roll... First I'm going to roll luck to see if you enter somewhere placid or flaccid. Those are doubles. Those are doubles.
You arrive at Albion.
Holy crap.
What?
I rolled a 6 and a 4, and with 2 doubles, that puts you at double 6s.
Hey.
Okay, where
Isn't that cool?
do I put you?
Puts me into like wherever Dionysus is sleeping. I was like, what's up? I brought like 46 homies with me.
Okay, here's what I will... Let me ask Angoromere. Where is he hoping to end up?
I was hoping to end up in Daedalus's like lab place, lair shop.
So
and
that's...
to basically tell him what I had done.
So what you're looking at is actually one of the vagina portals that enters the outside world. Therefore,
So of course it's not gonna be Daedalus's lab.
Yes.
Yeah.
So in the outside world,
Yes. So in the outside world, I was hoping to go see my family, which is in the northeast.
that's all I needed to know.
And that way I could reintroduce centaurs to the proper way of life.
That's all I needed to know.
Cool.
We're good. When you emerge through the blue portal, basically telling them, I will go first, do you tell them to wait for you to come back and tell them to come? Or do you just say, come with me?
Ah, come with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
As you emerge through the portal, you're hit with the scent of fresh trees, and you're just like, cool. Instantly, you're just like, awesome.
Home. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Hold on, please.
Writing's not.
Nope.
I'm really sad that Chieftain died. That guy turned out being alright, you know?
Oh.
You emerge, and you're like, I know where I am. And as people emerge behind you, they're just like, where is this? And you're just like, this is northeast of Olympia. They're like, wait. The kingdom that sent all those people to our home? And you're like, no. This is your new home. And the king that did that is no longer alive. Because I ended his life days ago. And you emerge further out to make room for the 46 people.
I was just told that Midas is alive. Maybe Daedalus had wrong information.
And so...
But nonetheless, I'm gonna claim that he's dead, because that's what I know.
And so you know that logically speaking, Daedalus just has it wrong because of the whole memory wipey thing that he's not sure what is correct.
Yeah.
It is unlikely that Septimus would have resurrected
Yeah.
Minos.
Yeah.
So you make room for the 46 people, and as you look back, you see that there is a crude carving of a door in a cavity in the hillside with a large delta on it, and you're just like, that is more identifiable than what was back there. You also know that you are so many miles away from where you were just a few hours ago.
Okay.
And it's kind of jarring to think, I was over there, and then I'm in there, and I'm here. What the hell?
Wonderful telling. I love it.
So, what do you tell your people?
I tell my people, again, this is your new home. I'm going to see my family, which happens to be the Mere clan. You are more than welcome to join our clan. However, I have not seen my clan in quite some time, so I apologize if there's any tension.
The chieftain told us that the Mere clan were traitors who left us to our fate, who abandoned us.
I'm a member of the Mere clan, and to be frank, if it were not for me, you would all be slaves right now.
Do you share with them what the chieftain told you inside of his hut? Because they're not aware.
I don't wish to besmirch his name.
Okay. So you'll have to give me a D20 true check to see how you deliver that information to see whether or not they believe you.
A 6.
Hit! Okay. Roll cockeyed. I'm just like, no. Okay. You can see a lot of people looking at you like, I'll accept that. Okay. Like, basically everything that just happened, like, I'm just glad to have, like, somewhere that's not being overruled by humans.
Basically,
And the other...
I'm going to deliver a short real quick.
Okay.
Basically, the idiot Raganuthans proposed an ultimatum to our glorious people. And the ultimatum was not favorable on either side. This is why I brought you here, because this can be your new home now, and we could retake Albion on a later date when we are more prepared to do so.
They feel suddenly a great deal of hope. They're in mourning. They're sad because one of their number, has died, yet self-sacrificed. And the solidifying factor of your tale is the fact that he stayed behind to ensure that you left safely.
Mm-hmm.
That is the solidifying factor. So it's outrageous, yet it's believable. They don't want to believe it, and yet if it wasn't true, why would the chieftain had done what he did?
Mm-hmm.
So ultimately, after a stunned silence, people start looking around, and they say, "This is good soil." No, this is loam. No, it's soil, you dumb shit. We can grow things here. We could really find good properties. He says that there's people nearby that are like us. Maybe they'll be forgiving. Maybe they'll take us in. Even if we don't want to live in a village or a city, we can make our way here. We should theoretically, based on the stars right now, because I can actually see the stars. It's not storming here. I'm thinking we're on the near opposite side of Olympia than Olympia's kingdom. Therefore, very limited human interaction. We could flourish here, potentially, but we first have to make our way. And so, you see something that you've never been able to see before because you've never really lived long-term with a herd of centaurs.
Like an ununited herd.
Yeah, and so you see them suddenly get to work. And you see them, like, use lumber that has already fallen and, like, start making it into structures that can be used for higher purposes. And you're kind of flabbergasted at how convenient their practices are. Do you go to your parents?
No.
You stay with them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I stay with them for a long enough time where I would feel comfortable announcing that I was going to go see my family.
Okay.
And then when I left to go see my family, I would invite anyone who wished to become a part of or just to meet the Mere clan to follow me.
Okay. You are able to do all of that. However many days or hours or whatever that it takes for you to feel secure with they're okay here, we haven't yet been attacked, yet to be discovered, there's no even wild animal coming to attack us, there's no dire wolves out here. We're good.
Also, feel free to use magic. You guys.
And they're like,
Yeah.
suddenly they're like,
By the
you
way.
mean my level 0 abilities that
Yeah.
I've been suppressing all this time?
Yeah.
And it's like pre-ejaculate constantly seeping out my fingers? What the hell? You're like, yeah, that.
Yeah, exactly that.
You go to your parents, and you find them in a calm, foresty yet ocean-centric town at the very northern peak of this island. And you find them relatively easily because you smell Reese first. And you're like, where are you, boy? And you're able to find him in the streets, and he sees you, and his ears perk, and he like stands up straight, like suddenly suspicious of you because you're just like he kind
Suddenly
of
there.
he kind of has this mind of like, who are you? Like there's like the suspicion. If you've ever had the honor of finding a dog that was lost at the pound, I have. And so it's a very akin reaction like this, where there's like this like perk up, then fear, and then suddenly burst of excitement. That's how Reese responds to you. You are fully healed, you are fully rested.
Super.
I will give you
That's a lovely...
2,000 XP
Woo!
for freeing your people and through those battles.
All right. Thank you, DM.
You're welcome.
Just 3,200 more to go. Chip it away, buddy. All right. I was unprepared for this.
If you would like me to, instead of going basically line by line, I can go through a cutscene with you, if you would rather.
Cutscene would be nice.
Okay.
However, I just want to say, I'm wondering if I should give him one of the halves of the shriveled blue dick tongue to use as like a chew toy or something right now.
It is pretty resilient, so yeah, he wouldn't really be able to eat it. He'd just be chewing it like a blue dick.
It's not actually a dick, so I feel more comfortable giving it to him. Yeah, I give him a shriveled blue tongue.
He accepts the new toy joyously and starts rubbing hither and thither on you, and he's loving on you, and you're just like, dear God, Reese, you're so affectionate. I missed you and I love you. Oh my God.
I love you. It's been so long.
You are able to then deduce where your parents are because Reese, he was a dire wolf, right?
He was a black wolf,
Okay.
not a dire wolf.
He is able
He's
to,
not huge.
He's able to intelligently, like, show you to where your parents are, which is not very far from where you found him anyway. And he takes you to a very large house that's basically all one room to allow free space for your parents to roam. And there is a hearth in the middle of this one-room giant house in which they are making food and they're preparing for the evening. And when you enter,
The first thing I say when I enter is, boy, there better be some goddamn burnt potatoes on the table right now. Let me tell you what.
Angoromere, Carlos.
Who else but Angoromere? He's Angor. He's Angor.
There is a very sweet and tender and teary and long reunion scene that happens. Both your parents are alive. They are healthy. Your dad works regularly. Your mom, I'm going to make her a healer, if you don't mind. Unless she had a job that you already had preset. Okay. She is a herbalist. Not magical. An herbalist. And you spend hours talking to each other about what they've been doing, what you've been doing.
Yeah.
Do you break into what you have been actually up to?
Nope.
Okay.
Not at all.
So you don't tell them about the gods?
No.
Okay. Because that was part of your original plan.
Oh, I will. Just not now.
Okay.
It's one of those things that it's going to be a slow introduction because I don't want to suddenly come home and be insane.
Okay.
I want them to know that I'm still normal and healthy. And when I introduce the idea of there being a godly being and all that, like, it needs to be like a gentle introduction.
Do you tell them about your clan that's
Oh yeah.
down southeast from them.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So like the hours talking, I tell them how, the centaurs of Albion, that they apparently betrayed all those years ago. Their numbers were dwindling over the years, and there were only 40 some odd left. And when I got there, they were basically given an ultimatum, and it was a very bad one. And so I attacked and killed the would-be assailants as we escaped through the labyrinth. I do bring up the labyrinth.
Okay. Your parents will listen to you and be like, have their mouths closed, hands over mouths for so long as they're taking in as much as they can, trying to feed you more and more and more and more as you go on. And they can't believe just how far you've come as far as like your maturity and your humor, because they find you hilarious. And they
The labyrinth.
They can't.
What are you talking about?
Isn't that a word for maze? You're a terrible direction. And they believe you. They believe that their people are just down southeast from you, and we
relocated them, or I relocated them, so that they wouldn't be slaves.
And they say you probably have brought them to one of the best places that you could, because if you went for Redstone, they would have struggled with how hard the terrain was to grow on. So you brought them to a very secure location away from human contact, because we don't get many up here. Now, the people that live here, they're good people. They're mostly elves, they're satyrs, they're mostly forest folk, dryads. There's the occasional human, but they don't have the biased viewpoint that Olympia does. So you did the right thing, and now after Mount Olympus fell, there's now this barrier that keeps us from Olympia. So arguably, Angoromere, you brought them to the perfect spot.
Well, I figured it'd be the perfect spot because that's where you guys went.
Don't make your mother cry again. And so, I'm going to fast forward over the next few days, weeks, months.
Yeah.
They will...
I want a line-by-line transcript of everything.
We're going to be here for a while. Then,
several months worth.
Over the next several weeks and months, you will help your people build. They will all reanalyze their position and realize that they're in a far better position than they ever were. You, depending on what your character actually wants to do as far as leadership, I imagine you would giving them more so free reign to do whatever would give them peace and happiness.
Absolutely.
So you would be less of a leader and more of a mediator, if anything. But there's very little conflict that happens between them.
I do want to say, I don't want to spend more than 2 months.
Okay.
Because I am going to journey to Westeros.
Okay. So that's actually good.
When I leave, though, I'm going to, since they will be leaderless per se, I am going to entrust my mother.
Okay.
To lead. I will say she's been living on these lands for a long time. She knows the soil. She knows how to create life as well as restore it. I think she's a perfect candidate to allow our species to thrive here. It's my general message before I leave, and I say I have a very important quest that I must see an end to. And I will be on a long and probably dangerous adventure. And if I don't come back, don't think ill of me. Think of me as just a timely prophet to lead our race to the right area.
While you're doing all this
monologue,
weeks and months of time with them, do you grow your beard out?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is weird.
So you're a Jesus centaur as you're telling them how to be and how to be at peace and how to prosper and how to keep yourself safe and healthy.
Yes.
And as you give your people's responsibility, I suppose, or guidance to your mother,
Yep.
your parents are just as weepy, if not more so, as they were years ago when you first left them, because they do not want you to go again, because they genuinely think, despite the journeys that you went with Dionysia, Pyra, and Agate, and Undyne, and Hammer, that you're home now. And they have a hard time understanding and wrapping their head around your story of the gods. But they understand that that is the journey that you took. And they feel that your journey may as well be over. And that leaving this land may result in your ultimate lack of coming home again. And so on the day that you choose, I'm leaving now, you get your pack, you put on your breastplate, you get your sword that doesn't exist.
Yep.
And you tell your family and your people goodbye. And you're going down the path that they have paved intentionally for safety, for comfort on the dirt. And you're leaving their village. And they name their village Ango.
That's nice.
And you're heading south.
I would have preferred Angor, but you know.
Ango. And you head south towards the nearest shipyard. And as you are approaching the shipyard, and yet you're somewhere in between the ships that you know are there and your home that has been home for 2 months, you are stopped.
On my way to the shipyard?
Yes.
Where at?
You are stopped suddenly by a presence that you cannot really visualize because it's kind of all around you. And you're so aware that something is happening that you're not sure it's threatening, but like the leaves above you are blowing hard. There's a wind that seems to almost be visible, like the ebbs and flows of the breeze seem to have color to them almost. And then suddenly it stops. And in front of you, as you look down the path, there is a familiar-ish face. If you remember months ago, sessions and sessions ago, Daenerys Targaryen left Elysium with a woman who was heavily, heavily cloaked in a brown, thick cloak.
Yep.
It is her.
Oh.
And she stands
The mysterious one.
And she stands in front of you and says, I knew that one day I would be forced to return to your presence. Because one day, my queen would deem it necessary to ask for your help. And I knew that you will have found a path for your people, for your friends, and you will have tried to push the past aside and find someone who may or may not reciprocate your emotion of affection. I knew this, and yet I loathed the day that it would come, because once again I would have to drop information that may or may not prove positive for your young mind. Queen Daenerys Targaryen requires your help. She has taken the throne that laid empty. You paved the way for her to take the throne to Elysium, and she sits there now, waiting for you to come to her court, where she begs that you can help establish her kingdom. Do you answer her call?
She took up the throne in Olympia?
She did.
That is interesting.
Why?
You know, it may have been a young lust, but I do believe that she is the most beautiful creation in all of the world. But I don't understand why she would leave Westeros and Essos.
There is a bigger picture in her path, a destiny that she has denied for a greater one.
What's her goal?
Perhaps you should tend to her and find out. She requests you, personally.
Lead the way.
She holds out her hand and says, "Let me save us some time."
I accept it curiously.
As you touch her hand,
This is dimension door?
I want you to give me a magic check.
Okay. 11 plus fucking 9 magic for 20.
For 20, okay, that's the threshold. You feel something deep, deep within you. And suddenly a voice that has not penetrated your thoughts for weeks and months suddenly goes through your head. And you hear Septimus again. Not lively speaking as if he's right in front of you giving you new information. It's a memory. And it's him illustrating what happened the night of the star chasing ceremony. It's him describing to you as Agate was running him away, and after the star burst into nothing, he wiped your memory. And you realize that there is something missing and odd from that story. Something deep inside you is resonating on a magical, feral level. Something that he left out of the story.
Okay.
Something that this woman possesses that resonates with you in a way that no magic spell has, that no god has.
And I experienced this when I touch her hand?
Yes. And when she releases you, you are suddenly in Olympia's foyer. Not in the throne room, but in the foyer. And she releases your hand and says, "There is much he did not tell you."
Who's he?
Septimus.
I do a very, very long, drawn-out sigh.
Does that displease you?
A bit, actually.
I imagine it would. He is the cornerstone of every fear you have. You are concerned that all of your people are actually still imprisoned on their island, that perhaps the island is still a whirlpool. You are fearful that Poseidon died, and yet maybe he never died. Maybe that everything that you've experienced, every friend that you've met, maybe Daenerys herself, was all a fragment of a made-up memory. I can tell you, undeniably, none of it is fake. All of it is real. I cannot give you unequivocal proof. However, Daenerys is through those doors. And if you still doubt that there is genuine tenor in this world that is the result of Septimus's work, enjoy it for what it is. If you cannot remove this thought that it is all a lie, then enjoy the lie. But I am telling you, what is done is done. It cannot be undone. And if you do want it undone, then I can help you.
I do the most, like... if I want what Septimus has done to be undone, she can help me.
That's what she says.
But I imagine she's telling me this now because I have to make the choice to choose her over Daenerys. Is that correct?
No. She says, I am her hand of the queen.
Okay.
I am here until she no longer needs me. Go to her. I know you do want to.
Oh, I do.
And I will be around.
Before I go, I need to ask you. Is Daenerys aware of everything that has happened?
No. She remembers every moment that you were together. She does not remember that you were religiously tied to another being. She does not believe religion was ever a fixture in this land. But she does not come to this land to spread new gods.
Well, that's good on her. I need to sleep on this shit, man.
Okay.
I am going to go to Daenerys.
Okay. You go to Daenerys.
I do like an approving nod, obviously, to the hand before I leave.
Okay. As you open the doors, leaving the cloaked woman behind, you open the foyer. No, you open the door to the throne room. And you see her on the throne. You were never in the throne room before, but it is not the same as it was when the three others were in there.
Yeah.
If you were able to compare, you would know that it's so much more beautiful. There's arcs, there's pillars made of marble, made of white stone, carvings of her old home, of Westeros, of Elysium, of creatures that used to be like considered evil. There are centaur carvings. There is beautiful gemstones high up so nobody can take them. It's a very beautiful area. And she is sitting high up on the throne, made up of, I will say, hundreds of dragon scales. And when she sees you, she will instantly rise and descend down the stairs.
I embrace her so hard. Not to, like, hurt her, but, like, you know, the hard embrace.
She
Giggity.
does not accept the embrace,
It's a hug.
grabs your face, and kisses you full on the lips.
Oh, great.
I'm ending session here.
I have a,
I'm ending session.
I have a 715-pound erection. Like, my entire body just becomes an erect dick. Bye-bye!
Bye-bye.